No hitches, man.
I think we did, mate.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we did. I think I saw your face beforehand. But anyway, welcome on in, everyone. Good to see you all.
Salute, and salutations.
Absolutely. I've got some new Rizzler, mate. I've got some hemp. Not hemp, it's like organic stuff. And I'm going to give that a try today. See what it's like.
That's okay. And what are we smoking, Parse?
Ooh, well, I've got some really strong Stardog, which I'm not going to smoke. I've got some strawberry amnesia, and I've got some ice cream and some chocolate something, which is a bit more lighter, which is my forte for my episode. Because if I smoke that Stardog, you're gonna get an Alien Addict episode, which is just me slurring my words and can't read properly. Corbell's Cats, how's it going, man? Yeah, it's nice to see everyone in chat. It's Rotary, Rebecca, we've got John Strokes in there as well, and yeah, welcome on in, guys.
And I did throw your names up at the beginning when the intro was playing, so yeah, we got a crazy show for you. Nick's covering the Stargates, and I'm kind of interested in this because you remember the last show we did, and I was like, no, Iraq ain't got no Stargate because Saddam Hussein would have escaped in that. And lo and behold, hey, I'm wrong. Man. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind being wrong when you're learning something because learning is fun, especially when you're stoned.
Well, that's all part of the game, isn't it, mate? It's all about integrating information, but I think 420 definitely does help. You know, I think you download more information that way, from my experience, anyway.
I agree. But also, like, it tends to be a show of two halves, doesn't it, Nick? Like, you do your bit, and then I try and do a bit. But I came across an interesting little video that I'm going to share with you, and it's basically something that happened. I believe it was last week Friday, where UFO was, and I'm using the term loosely UFO now because the word UFO, it stands for an unidentified flying object. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's alien base. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not. It's just something that's on a.
I think that. Sorry, mate, I'm interrupting you. Sorry, carry on.
Go for it. Well,
I mean, the idea of flying saucers or unidentified flying objects, people in the public are just, that's the perception. It's a flying craft. So as soon as you say UFO, you're talking about extraterrestrials coming from another planet. Doesn't necessarily mean that. So I think the stigma, but because of that over the years, you know, like X-Files and what it's been for the past 8 years, ufology, mate. But yeah, sorry for interrupting you. commenting
That's
on
all right.
our episodes.
Well, no, because I think we have to clear this up in certain aspects. But this was cited by pilots. It was what it was it wasn't actually cited. It was something that was being picked up, but they couldn't tell where it was from. This happened over, I believe, Washington D.C. And we've actually got a pilot that's gonna talk us through the air traffic control chatter. I mean, we haven't got the pilot with us, but he did a video to explain what is going on, and he gave his I believe he gave 3 possibilities besides it being alien. Well, I think that was his 4th possibility. So I thought it was quite interesting. I didn't have a full listen to it because I like to listen to it with you guys because then it's not rehearsed. But I wanted to make sure that he wasn't talking,
Yeah. Words we can't say because we'll get less views.
so we're not going to be showing Dead Bug because I haven't written to him to ask him.
Yeah, dude. Did you like? There's one thing as being a content creator, right? Is that gotta watch your swearing. You can't swear for the first 10 minutes of the episode, but if you look at the views, what we normally would get, and it's like woo, a massive drop off, and that's probably me saying certain words as well. So I think it's our bad on our behalf. I think.
PG-13. That's the way
PG-13, to go. Yeah, and yet at the same time we showed dismembered bodies and all that. So yeah.
Well, there you go. But I did get a yellow warning. So there you go. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Anytime I show Dead Bug, I know it's. I just might as well just say, look, this show's for you. All the shows are for you guys. So it doesn't. That's it. Thank you. Without explaining, going long-winded. That simple sentence sums it up. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's a bit like us doing a episode that I would love to do on human mutilation, but we can't show the photographs.
No, the thing is that they'll take your channel straight off. They'll lock it down. They'll lock it. I don't know because, like what you said when we was playing Dead Bug. Now, I think
graphic photos.
I think what Dead Bug was showing was more worse than the alien human mutilations. I'll tell you what, if you really want to do it, let's have a go. If all they can do is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll talk. Because Rotary put a comment here saying that it's probably a BitChute Rumble thing. I think that's more to be on the safe side, mate, because it's YouTube and we know what the YouTube's like at the moment. I think it's worth just to be on a safe bet, probably not do an episode. A Rumble exclusive because you need to see the photographs, guys, and that is the whole part of the subject.
I would show the photograph. I would show the photographs. I can't see why, if we make it an 18 only show, and I'll put the restrictions up there where you have to click in, and just say, look, this show's for you guys. I'm not going to try and put any ad revenues in it. We'll just toss out the ad revenues, toss everything out that. And I think, because I really do think it's a subject that should be covered.
Sure.
It has been covered. I don't think it's covered quite widely on YouTube, and I think somebody should do it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's other people that's done content on the human mutilation on YouTube, but again, it's like rules for thee and not for me. It's like I got a strike on my channel because of the video I was talking about, which I showed clips from it, but the videos from the original source is still up on YouTube, but I get targeted for it. So I think it's like Rebecca says, it's too much censorship on YouTube, and I think we need to tread very carefully, mate, because we don't want to upset the algorithms like we did on the last episode. Mate, that's one thing I've noticed is the words, simple words. I used, the Trails in the Sky that I keep saying it on
our daily doses of vitamins.
Mate, I keep saying it on Alien Addict. It don't help. That is the one word. The algorithm's like, nope, not talking about that, even though it's a real thing. So, yeah.
MH17.
Yes.
The plane.
Yeah, no, this is a different crash. Rory, I know what you're talking about. There's actually photographs of this, and they're very, very graphic. And some of the bodies from this plane crash it's supposed to be. Rotary might correct us on this one, but that one might have been the actual MH370 crash. Rotary, am I right on that one? And they just sort of switched the planes, but the bodies look pretty much like they've been mutilated. Like some of them are practically naked. If I like if you look at that's the okay, I'm right on track on that one. Yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole to go down, mate, if you want to go down our avenue, but you have to look at the photographs, which are extremely graphic. But like the plane crash of itself, which was rotary, it was blown up in the air, wasn't it? And then, but some of the bodies are like, it's weird. It looks weird for a plane crash, put it that way. Like the bodies are naked, like they got no clothes on. It's just weird, mate. So if you want to go check that out, yeah, that's it. But unfortunately, if you're a bit squeamish, there are like pictures of like dead children and stuff like that from this plane crash. This is it, mate. It's you've got to have a very strong mindset if you're going to go into any of these deep dives. It's a bit like pizza thing. I'm not going to talk about. You get the drift. But yeah, like there was a pile of like brand new passports. Like the whole thing don't make sense. But if you want to go check that out. That is, what did Rory say? The MH17, and you can find the photographs online for that. A lot of things just don't make sense. Yeah, just strange stuff. So yeah, if you want to go check that out for your heart's content, which I have done, it's like, I mean, for me and the missus, we're into like true crime, and every time we look into a serial killer, we always look at like the crime scene photographs. It's just what we want to know what the crime scene is about. You know, we're watching Hannibal at the moment. You know, remember Hannibal, the TV series?
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's like graphic stuff in there, but it's absolutely brilliant. So we don't mind that sort of stuff. But if you're a bit squeamish when it comes to like dead bodies and like weird stuff, yeah.
Let me just grab it.
MH370 is MH17 on YouTube. Okay, right.
I don't know if I should look it up, but I'm gonna look. What is it?
Yeah, no, go for it.
Search MH370. No, he says it.
But it's the MH17.
Is
2 seconds, guys. Going to open up the window.
Somebody broke wind.
Oh, I calmed down. I haven't started yet.
Right.
So
yeah.
So yeah, go check that out, man. Go check that out. It's
is there any how you can eat? Oh,
yeah. If you could please, Rotary, you can put a link in.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
I'll grab that.
So yeah,
I've never heard of this.
It's not talked about, mate. It's more of a Rumble, Twitter sort of thing, really. But again, it gets a bit graphic if you're a bit squeamish with dead bodies. But should we move on to Stargate? What the hell is going on with Stargate? All right. Everybody remember the series Stargate? Did everyone used to watch that back in the 90s?
I remember the movie.
You never watched it? I remember the movie, but yeah, it's pretty much the same premise of what we're talking about today. So let's bring it up here. Okay. We have the wonderful invention of AI. And what the great thing is that I can do text to speech. So Hidden, what I'm going to do as a tester, because there's two ways I can do this. I'm going to bring up Twitter and bring up Grok, because Grok has been pretty good when it comes to like finding evidence. Well, why not? If you want to cheat a little bit, then Grok or ChatGPT is your go-to.
I laugh because I was having a conversation with Grok. I was trying to get into its head.
Really?
Yeah, I was. But the thing keeps on talking about me. He wants to know more about me. I want to know more about Grok. So I was asking him, well, what do you think about? And stuff like that.
Ah, right. You're trying to mess with it. Yeah.
No, I'm not messing with it. I just want to get inside, see what's going on, see what's working. Because we were talking about dreams and things like that.
Interesting. That's a subject for Grok to scratch its AI mind too, isn't it?
No, it was pretty clever. It gave me a pretty clever answer because it just told me, well, I don't dream, but if I did dream, I dream of multiple things, universes, what's beyond. You know,
Mate. Sorry to interrupt you, right? But does thanks for the link, really appreciate it, mate. When you smoke weed or 420, so to speak, do you dream less or do you rarely have any dreams? And that goes for the people in chat as well. Because for me, I don't dream. It being a 420 or so to speak. I just find dreams don't really occur. When I do dream, it can be quite intense. And I remembered when I stopped smoking weed for like 6 months, about a couple of years ago, man, the dreams are so intense. Oh my God, it was like I was there. The last dream I remember was so vivid. I had a dream about the back door. No, it's nothing gay, don't worry. It's the back rooms. Is it back rooms?
Back rooms,
have you seen yeah, that. It was absolutely scary. So yeah, dreams are rare for me, Rotary.
Thank you,
but
Rotary.
I don't know if. Yeah, thanks again, Rotary. Do appreciate it, mate. I know Graham Hancock said the same thing as well. But Hidden, have you noticed that at all? Because my missus dreams like constantly of like horror shit. So I
think I'm a bit like her. I just drink. What I do feel though is when I smoke, I have a better sleep. I have a more deeper, relaxing sleep because, like, I haven't. I mean, the last time I smoked was Friday over the weekend. So I mean, I'm kind of chilling a bit out. But dreams are weird. Dreams are weird because I'm watching Law and Order SUV.
All right.
I absolutely love that show. Some of them I do skip because when it's too much of the children's stuff, I don't like it.
No,
it's not. Yeah. It's not that I'm against it. It's just that it angers me. So I skip that because I like some of the stories. And funny enough, I had a dream the other day where me and one of the characters, Stabler, we were just going to town on some dude with a baseball bat. And I woke up with my fist clenched.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
shit, dude.
It's proper vivid, man. It's proper
vivid.
Man.
Bloody hell. It depends on the people. Like my missus dreams like constantly.
Yeah, I
like,
dream
bad
all the
stuff.
time.
Yeah. We've got Jose. Is it Jose Sanchez? My reading skills are getting a bit better. Is that right? Was it my pronunciation?
I would say Jose. We had this before, didn't we? we always have this conversation about your name. I always say Jose.
Okay, Jose Sanchez. Okay,
but
welcome
on,
bro.
I might be wrong. Thank you for sending over your artwork, man. I always love seeing it. I'm sorry that I ain't been commenting. It's just, see, yes, Jose.
Jose, okay. Well, I remember that. Try to remember that.
we're probably gonna have this conversation again. So, don't worry, man. We have it with thingy Jade. You know.
Oh yeah, she don't turn up anymore. Probably because we got her name wrong. Jennied. It's Jennied. I still remember Jennied. If you're watching, darling, it is Jennied. Yeah, Jennied UFO research. Yeah. So, mate, I'm gonna click on something now, and can you tell me whether or not you can hear it? Can you hear this?
Nope.
Okay, right. 2 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna come out, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go full screen instead. Okay. I'm gonna go a bit funny.
Thank you, brother.
Bring me up, bruv.
That's gonna be weird because that's us. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Right. Okay. I'll check this out. Can you hear this? Can you hear it?
No.
No, you can't.
No, I'm not even kidding.
No, you can't hear it now.
Nah, everybody's saying no.
No. Okay, no worries. Okay, let's get out of that then, and let's bring me back. Sorry, Hidden. Let's go back into.
If we're gonna make mistakes, this is the best place to do it.
Yeah. That was pretty much Alien Addict show. Honestly, StreamYard kicked me out midway through a stream on Friday. I was like, what the hell are you doing? The intro was skippy. Oh, it really annoyed me, mate. Really annoyed me. Right, I think it's this one here. Let's bring this up. So let's bring up the... Let's ask
sweet
Rock.
sound of silence. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, bring this up.
Oh, my God. Here we go. The sweet sound of silence.
Which is always good for the mental brain, put it that way. Right, okie dokie. So I asked Grok about the Iraq Stargates. I have done so much research into this, trying to find as much information as I can. But nevertheless, I thought, let me just ask Grok to see what it says. Now, I was going to ask AI to read it for me, but obviously StreamYard is totally gay and it doesn't even work properly. So I'm going to read it myself. So I'm not that 420 at the moment. Let's give this a go. So the idea of the Iraq Stargate typically comes in conspiracy theories or speculative fiction rather than historical or archaeological fact. It often ties into myths about ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, being a cradle to advanced civilizations like the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, I believe. Some folks claim that these cultures had access to otherworldly tech like Stargates, based on loose interpretations of their artifacts, myths, and structures like the Ziggurat of Ur. Ziggurat of Ur, I believe. These theories sometimes get linked to the 2003 US invasion, with wild speculations that the war was really about securing alien tech rather than political or oil. There is no hard evidence for any of this. The Sumerians did leave behind fascinating stuff. Tablets, ziggurats, I believe, the myths like the Anunnaki gods, but some of these better understood as early human into storytelling. Oh man, I can't even read through this even more. Hang on. So basically what it's saying here, there really is no proof whatsoever to actually back up anything related to the Stargate. If you want to read the rest of that, that's absolutely fine yourself. How's it going?
Blackjack guitar.
Blackjack. How the hell did you read that?
Because I know he's famous, man. He's famous. He's famous.
Sweet.
How you doing, brother?
How's it going, man? Welcome on in. I would never have guessed that myself. I would have made a right tit of myself saying that. But yeah, but back to the Stargate. There's really is no concrete evidence. I mean, we're going to go through the sort of myths and legends behind it, and obviously the 2003 war in Iraq, which I think is worth mentioning because history does repeat itself, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get the hell out of this and start off with where should we start off? The city.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on, mate. No, carry on.
No, I was interested in the reason why I wanted to try and get inside the AI's head. Yeah. Is because I was curious to see if it was bias in a way. So like if you're asking a question about the Stargate, because I think I'm seeing stuff about Elon now. I'm seeing his behavior now, and I'm starting not to. I used to like him.
Yeah, mate. I would honestly say about Elon, I'm a bit fishy about the guy. I don't understand why, and this is a very leftist thing to say, but however, it makes a point. Why are these unelected officials being inaugurated into government positions? I understand
the campaign fund
as one part of it, but I would honestly say that the amount of exposure that he's done, okay, fair, the corruption of the previous government. However, I still got my suspicions. I mean, he wants 15-minute cities, which I'm totally against. He's in some way, like kind of like far left ideology, like sort of quite liberal ideology, which doesn't help human civilization in our favor, so to speak. I mean, if you look at like AI, the advancement of AI and the robots going to be introduced, he says he wants to overtake human civilizations with robots. I can't honestly see that happening, but in the near future, most possibility. But
I tend
Yeah,
to,
but
because
not in
if
his
you look at
imagination.
if you look what's going on now,
John P, how's it going, mate?
let's say this. I kept you up for a reason. Let's say that if you just look at what's going on now, we've got a whole generation that doesn't even they won't put their phone down. So I can see it. I could see the possibilities. I got John P up. Thank you for your kind donation, man. Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you, John.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you. But yeah, we're gonna go off track. But all I wanted to say is that's why I was trying to get into the AI's head. I did want to see what it actually thought about, like, more on a spiritual level, not like the world and stuff. But because I don't pay for X, I could only talk to it for so long, and then it just said, you can't talk no more. So
it's true.
I couldn't really, because I wanted to ask it. One of my other questions that I had to ask it was humanity. What does it think about humanity? How does it view us? But I couldn't ask it.
What did it say?
No, I couldn't ask it because I got timed out. I was like, oh. But it was really, it was. I can see this thing. You know, if you're a lonely person, if you have no one to talk to, because this thing did come off like it was caring. It was trying to find out. As much as I was trying to find out about the AI was trying to find out about me as well. So I found that quite interesting, that it's in this constant state of learning. It's trying to find out about the individual it's talking to.
Yeah, but that's a recipe for disaster, mate. It's going to think for itself, mate, and it's going to eventually take over the world. That is the old perspective of robots, you know, coming into civilization and interacting with.
Back to Elon, isn't that what he wants to do? Isn't that what Elon wants to do? Doesn't he want to put AI in charge of the nuclear facilities? I'm sure I read something along that lines.
Do you see what I mean?
Because I remember saying to myself, didn't these guys ever watch Terminator? Isn't that what happened with Terminator? AI became self-aware and just blew the whole world up.
Yeah. There's one thing I noticed especially with Twitter. There seems to be a very, obviously, the anti Elon Musk phenomenon that's going on at the moment, but a lot of people do love him. In one way, mate. I expect he's done good for sure. Apparently making Twitter into a much more free speech platform. I don't know. I've only been on it for about 2 years, so I can't honestly say anything about that. Hitting you there, mate.
Yeah, I'm here. My camera just went down.
But yeah, I'm just not too sure about Elon, mate.
Let me see if my camera's working again.
No bloody camera.
I'm
there
back.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, mate, but I got my suspicions. It's early times, It's early times. Have you seen the film Her? No, I haven't, mate. Is that recent? Is that recently that came out? Her.
I haven't seen it.
What is that? Walking Phoenix, isn't it?
I'm not really much of a sci-fi buff. I mean, the only new film that I've seen that like that would have been Companion with the guy that started. Have you guys heard of this? Companion, it's called, or is it Companionship?
Never heard of it, mate. Never heard of it.
It's with now I know. Yes, I haven't seen it, but I know it now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I tell you what's another good program to watch is, oh my God, I forgot the name of it. It was on Channel 4. Oh my God, I forgot the name.
Oh, I know. Humans.
No. It was different episodes directed by different directors. But one of the episodes, there was an actual AI robot. A Black Mirror, yes. Thank you, Rory. That's it. Black Mirror, yeah.
I said that.
I don't think it is, mate. But no,
It's on
Black
Netflix
Mirror.
now, isn't it? It's on Netflix now.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Ah, right, okay.
There's-
Black
there's-
Mirror.
I think there's a new season coming out in April just to promote the program.
Okay, you on it, mate? But there was one episode where there was a. We're getting off topic here. There was a. Let's just move on. It was something to do with AI, but it's a lot of Black Mirror episodes is related to what we're going through at the moment. It might be the early stages, but
how uncanny! Do you remember the pig one? I know everybody must remember the pig episode.
Prime Minister, yeah.
And wasn't that mad that David Cameron, that picture of David Cameron with the pig's head?
Yeah. I see
that. Like, whoa, how Black Mirror called that?
Exactly. Black Mirror's calling out a lot of things, mate, and a lot of it's based upon, especially AI and what Rotary says here, how electronics control us. Very on the point of where we are at the moment. And, mate, it's not going to end well. We're going to get so used to this technology for AI literally doing everything for us. And it is scary, Joe. Please help me with the name.
Jose.
Okay. Yeah, you're right on point. It's extremely scary stuff because AI is going to learn to think for itself. And if it can actually maneuver things and eventually, attack or potentially protect itself, recipe for disaster. Jose. Yes, I remember that, Ray. I should write this down.
Once AI can look at humans and see how we act on the earth and realize that we're nothing more than a virus.
That's what Bill Hicks said. Bill Hicks said that we were just viruses with shoes.
There you go. Never heard him say that, but I know who Bill Hicks is. But yeah, there you go. And the moment they realize that we are that, we're done for. And it is truth, because if you look how we are, we destroy. We don't harmonize with nature. No. We just destroy. Then our excuse is, well, in order to build, you must destroy.
This is it. Well. Yeah. Right. Should we get back on track with Stargate? Because I think it's worth mentioning that we want to talk about Iraq here. Okay, so this is where allegedly we're going back in time. Let's go back thousands of years to the ancient city of Ur. That is UR, which is here. So remember, Iraq, where the Stargate is held, the Stargate is obviously, we're talking about an ancient advanced technology that were brought down from the Anunnaki, allegedly, according to wherever forums or websites you look at. But this is a very ancient historical, cultural for civilizations to be part of this planet, because this is that coming up on there? Let me just check. Oh, it is. Oh, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. So this here is called Ziggurat. So this part of the city of Ur was Ziggurat, which was a religious temple dedicated to the city patrons, and it was. Let's get a decent picture of it. What it looks like. Well, this is what it looked like. Allegedly, what it looked like. Okay, so we're talking about. Oh, go on. Hold on. Yeah, so we're just basically talking about that. Okay, so obviously it's all in ruins now because we're talking about thousands of years ago. So this ancient city, which is all in ruins, was obviously called the Ur, and this building here is called a Ziggurat, which obviously was a religious temple dedicated to the moon god Nana, I believe. And the building was for people to bring like food and almost like a religious ceremony, according to historians. And then 21 BC, the city was basically at its peak. So there was, if we go back through the tablets and the stone archaeological sort of depictions of what's basically on the walls, you can see that this was pretty much an advanced civilization, according to, Zachariah Sitchin, whoever sort of you listen to. So at this point in 21 BC, this was a very advanced civilization, and apparently the Anunnaki was coming back and forth, sharing their technology, because one aspect, especially the Ed Graham Hancock aspect, is that telepathy, moving stuff with their minds, was. I know it sounds like a wide speculation, but I did believe back years ago the potential for this ability. Unfortunately, we've just been lost now because we're distracted by technology, gadgets, and gizmos.
It's not just but it's not just that. It's frequencies that they're sending in the airwave.
Yeah.
The emerald tablets. I'm always going to go back to the emerald tablets. But Thope said that he could do that. He could move things with just his mind. But it's
is that Coral Castle you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, the emerald tablets are really fascinating things. But what Thope said in there is, I mean, some of it, this is why sometimes I don't talk about this one bit, but I'll say it now. Because Thope credited himself for building the pyramids. And he said he did it in a day.
Oh, right. Wow. Really?
Yeah. He said he did it in a day, and he moved the rocks, he levitated the rocks, and what they kind of showed was the power of vibration,
sound and frequency.
Yeah. That's what I was going to get to when you show. Have you ever seen that video where they make a rock hover over sound waves? The rock is hovering.
That's it. Yeah,
and that's what he was going on about. Like, somebody's I would say in yoga, but I think the Buddhists do it as well, where they chant and they go,
Yes. Yeah.
They're producing a sound wave. And that's kind of what Thope was alluding to.
Interesting. Oh, thanks for that information. Yeah, because there's apparently frequency, sound, and there's another one as well. It's like there's three combinations that you can potentially levitate stuff. But this is all stuff that's lost to human knowledge, isn't it, over the years, especially the thousands of years. But Rebecca mentioned something that is quite poignant, because what happened at one point in history, this historical city fell in ruins. To a certain degree, fell in ruins until this guy came along. Please don't put any porn pictures. Thank God for that. I literally put women aliens for an Alien Addict show, and a bunch of porn pictures came up with aliens in it. I was like, I didn't ask for that. But anyway, move on. So you got lucky there, mate. Yeah, so this guy here, let's get at least a decent photograph. This is called Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. Thank you, Hayden. Nebuchadnezzar. He was the second king of Babylon, and he was the empire.
And he was reputed to be a giant, wasn't he?
Because he was apparently 17. He was believed to be 17 foot tall.
Because have you seen some of the depictions of him carrying a lion under his shoulder? Carrying a lion like how we would carry a cat.
Yes. Oh, mate, that's a good point of that. We've got.
So I think many believe that he was, because the stories of the Nephilim, I have to bring back to Nebuchadnezzar here now, because many believe that the Anunnakis. Many believe that the Anunnakis, not all of them left. Some stayed behind. And here's your stories of, like in the Bible, they talk about the fallen ones. Well, they were Anunnakis, and Nebuchadnezzar is a prime example of what you would think of an Anunnaki. He was a big fella.
Giants. I think recently they pulled out a huge sarcophagus, and it's like at least 20 foot tall.
Wasn't his bed massive? Didn't they find his bed as well? And it's a massive bed. Something it was like 20 feet long.
Yeah, it was massive. Yeah, it was 20 foot. Yeah, something like that. It was absolutely massive. So the idea of giants is obviously is mentioned in the Bible, is also mentioned throughout many cultures throughout history. However, definitely this guy had a King Kong cock, so to speak, Oh, come on.
PG-13.
Oh, we got a bit of PG-13. All right, let's I said cock once, that would do. So yeah, how do you say
Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, like I said, he was the second king of Babylon. Obviously, he was the empire, and he believed he did good. And apparently he was in communication again with the Anunnaki because he wanted to rebuild this ancient city of Ur because it was obviously desolate and ruins. He wanted to rebuild it again. So if we skip to the 80s to a guy, if I put this guy's name, is going to come up with his death picture, and that man is Saddam Hussein. Okay. So we're going to skip all the way to the 80s. The 80s when Saddam Hussein took power. No, actually, wait. Let's go back to the 20s. There was an excavation under the supervision of Sir Leonard Woolley, under the direction of the University of Pennsylvania and the British Museum. Bet the Queen walked funny. DW, how's it going, man? Which uncovered tombs and treasures, and especially a lot of relics. We're going to get to that in a minute, right? But there's no mention of Stargate at this time, back in the 1920s. Okay, let's move back to the 80s. To Saddam Hussein when he is in power. He says, mate, okay, he says, UFO Naught 81. He says, hi, how's it going, bruv? But Saddam Hussein, at the time when he was in power, he wanted to rebuild Iraq, which we know as now as the Mesopotamia, back then as Babylon. He wanted to rebuild Babylon like the Nebuchadnezzar wanted to do. In fact, Saddam thought he was the actual reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. Is that his name? I can't say his name.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar, yes, thank you. Yes, so Saddam Hussein thought he was a reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. Eventually, he made exclusive orders to rebuild the ancient site of Ziggurat. So remember the ancient building I showed you? Let's bring up again. So you can see.
Well, see, I thought that if things get boring, we could play a game of red light, green light.
What's that?
Someone's asking about the doll. Don't you watch Squid Games?
No, I'll never watch Squid Games, mate.
Oh, there you go. Red light, green light. So I thought we could play an interesting game. So that's why the doll's there.
Yeah. All right, mate. Something I need to check out. Something I haven't watched yet. Apparently, it's really good. Apparently, it's a pretty good show to watch. So yeah, this as you can see here, Saddam Hussein in the 80s started to rebuild this. You can see the staircase leading up to the top there.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually started to rebuild it. Turn it into, like, you redid the staircase leading up to the top. So he wanted to build Iraq into the Babylon era, so to speak. It's also claimed that the Saddam regime located the fiery furnace, which was told in the book of Daniel. I'm not going to go into that because you're going to go off topic a little bit. But at the same time, there were some speculations whether or not this portal. Obviously, there were stories from Zecharia Sitchin, who released a number of books back in the 1970s.
I might be wrong, but is he the guy who wrote Chariots of the Gods?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's bring him up. Zecharia Sitchin. That's one guy I didn't look at today. Man, I'm trying to bombard so much information. But the thing is, I don't want to bore people at the same time. Zecharia Sitchin.
That's my job.
Yeah.
Let me see. Chariots of the Gods. No. I guess not.
Hold on.
Who wrote Chariots of the Gods? Now that's in my head.
Oh no, Chariots of the Gods was.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it that? Yeah. Okay, it's that guy. Thank you.
Eric von Dariken. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, back in the 70s, Zecharia Sitchin. Essentially, what he did, he translated the Babylonian scriptures and all the tablets, and he's the one that came up with the Anunnaki. Came down, obviously bred. I mean, this is talking about the first civilizations here. Bred us as to be slaves, and eventually they buggered off somewhere else. I think they tried to mine the earth for gold. I believe
gold. Yeah, because
to put it in their atmosphere
in their planet. Yeah.
Yeah,
which is really interesting because in our body there's a very low percentage of gold in our body as it is.
Yeah, it's mostly water, mate, isn't it? When you look at it.
Yeah, but why would we have gold in our body as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it a throwback? Is it a throwback from our creation? I mean, I'm a spiritual guy and I believe in a heavenly Father, but some of these things are just too in your face for you to turn around and say, you know what, I got to dismiss it. You can't. It's
so on the nose. I understand,
it's like the star chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
that there.
Back then, there's no way they could have seen Saturn had rings.
Yeah, exactly. If you're
talking like they didn't have technology, because many believe they did have technology, but there's no way they could have not. They know Saturn's got rings, and the star chart is funny because it's coming from out of our solar system. How it's mapped, it's coming out of our solar system into. So the first planet they come across is what we would say Pluto.
Yeah.
So it's quite an interesting star chart, to say the least.
If you have a look at this tablet here, if you have a look, you actually got the planets in the exact alignment. And this is going back to Babylon. This is thousands of years ago. And they managed to get the planets in the exact alignment.
Around the sun. And that's more interesting because common belief after that, because you got to remember this stuff was hidden. Nearly swore PG-13. This stuff was hidden. So the common belief back then was everything rotated around the Earth. And that was the common belief. These guys predated that thought, and they got everything going around the sun, which to what we are believed is truth.
Yeah, no, you're on the point there, mate. That's a very good point you made. But nevertheless, I mean, I believe that these depictions right here is that what they saw. Historians would say, "Oh no, that's their depictions of what their gods look like." I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't believe there's a heavenly Father, but I do believe that we were created. I do believe that we're a creator. Sorry, I should rephrase that. Speak slowly. I do believe there is a creator who created us, but I'm not necessarily saying it's a God in the clouds like the Christian belief of it. I do believe we came from our ancient brothers and sisters, that we were, so to speak, or our space cousins, because it's all being depicted through ancient Babylon. Unfortunately, a lot of it's been destroyed through various terrorist organizations. We're going to get to the museum raided in a minute. But I believe this is what people were depicting. This is what people were seeing. And these were giants. These were people that didn't look human. Of course, you had, I mean, if you look at Egyptian, like pharaohs and stuff like that, like the dog heads and everything like that, I believe that's an actual real thing. I believe that's what they're actually seeing, even through their gods as well. I mean, this is all wild speculation here, but I think there's a lot more meaning to this. But going back to Zecharia Sitchin, when he was translating everything into English language, he's the one that came up with the fact that the Anunnaki came down, created us, made us as slaves so they can get gold, to get gold and to put into the atmosphere, so to speak. Those were the stories behind that. Obviously, he's been dismissed over the years by mainstream science and archaeologists and stuff like that, so to speak, of course, because it's wacky ideas. Exactly. But nevertheless, we shouldn't dismiss what he's saying. Yeah, you shouldn't discount it. I think he's on a very good point.
And that's a common thread with mainstream scientists. They don't like pseudoscience. And that's what they call it. They call it even a name to even make it sound, the moment you're talking about it, well, this is in the realm of pseudoscience.
Exactly, so, pseudoscience, yeah.
To me, there's too many things that the Sumerians knew that they couldn't have known unless they were shown or told. There's too many things. Yeah. Like they even knew how conception worked. They even knew what a sperm looks like. Yeah. I mean, a sperm is something that you need to see under a microscope. So either you have to say either or. Either they had the technology to see this stuff, or they were shown it. Either or. There's no explanation other than that, because they not only did they write it down, they drew it. It was drawn. There's a cycle of life where it shows the baby as it develops and everything. And this you know the wheel of life.
Yeah, isn't that called the Brazilian DNA stone?
Am I getting things mixed up here?
No. I remember seeing, I hope porn doesn't come up, Brazilian
wax.
Hang on. Brazilian DNA stone. So basically, there was a circular stoner. There was a circular stone that was found. I ain't gonna find it. It might not be Brazilian, but basically there was a stone circle that was found, and it showed like all these different sections. And you had literally, I'm not joking, it had a male and a female, one with a vagina and one with a penis, literally, but their heads were like tic tacs. And then you can see literally a sperm going into the egg. This is thousands of years old, this stone, and as it got all the way round, it gave birth to a human, a rounded head. I've got to find this, mate. It's so interesting. It was called the DNA stone. Hang on.
So then it's African. Yeah. Do
you think it's African, is it?
I don't know.
But
I always thought it was. I thought it was part of the Sumerian thing.
I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. But yeah, Sakurai Sitchin brought out a lot of books really decoding it. So the Anunnaki side, and I do believe, I think Graham Hancock did mention to me that I think he dismissed the idea. Might be wrong on that one. I'll ask Graham next time I see him, and yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll pick up from there. So moving on from Sakurai Sitchin, which is the stories of ancient Anunnaki presence on Earth, then we'll obviously be talking about we've got to talk about the 2003 war in Iraq, because this is where it really leads into the Stargate and why excuse me, this Rizzler's crap. This is awful. Rizzler, terrible. Where was I to? Oh yeah, before we get to that, see, my notes are all over the place today. I have not got things in order. What about Nibiru? Heard about Nibiru? That was supposed to make its presence around 2012. Remember the hype about 2012? The spiritual awakening, the fake alien invasion? Yeah. How would I think Burger that was?
Well, no one listened to me, because I was trying to explain about the calendar. It was all based on a Mayan calendar. And the thing about the calendar is it was a circle calendar. So straight away, I knew it was called the long count. Yeah. Right. The calendar was called the long count, and it's a circle calendar. Now in Mayan culture, a circle represents infinity. So what that calendar meant, it was a 2,000-year calendar. So what it meant was at the end of 2000, which would have been 2012, when everybody was going nuts saying the world was going to end, it was just going to restart. But what I didn't realize, because I'm not into astrology, see, now I can't say it, but you guys know what I'm on about. I wasn't into this. That's it. I wasn't into that. So I didn't realize that also coincided with the astrological year. So we went into a different phase in the astro. Now we're actually in the year of Aquarius, and that coincided with. So is it an astrological calendar? So every time we're changing, because it's a 2000, we're in 2,000 years, which we won't be around. They're going to say the same thing. The world is going to end because the Mayans predicted this. They're going to pull it again. Maybe not, because AI might turn around and say, you know what, this is a load of bollocks. Or maybe it might want to have fun.
Yeah, you make a good point there, mate. I mean, 2012 was a big hype up. Something was going to happen. After 420, absolutely.
I think the only people that made money was the people that made that movie 2012, which was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, but it was literally pumping fear into people, thinking that something's going to happen.
I think
spiritual awakening.
I think the internet did that.
True.
I think the movie was just a piece of entertainment, but
I think at the time, I remember, because I think we're going through it now, mate. We're going through a cycle. I call it the 2012 effect, and the whole idea of like a spiritual awakening. Remember that? the spiritual awakening? There's supposed to be that
know.
was part of the 2012 effect.
See, I've always been spiritually awake, so I don't.
Yeah.
I really.
But I would say from 2016 there has been some sort of change. Maybe going off topic again. Swap us 420. Go off topic. But
okay.
Right, let's get back. But no, that's part of Nibiru. Nibiru was part of 2012, and it obviously was laid a part of the Stargate thing, you know, because it leaks into the Anunnaki, etc., etc. But let's go to.
But you know, can I just tell you something real quick? Did you know that NASA is looking for Nibiru? Did you know that? They're looking for Planet X. Let's call it Planet X.
Planet X, yeah. Planet X, yeah.
But it's the same thing. Nibiru is the same as Planet X. They're looking for it. NASA is actually looking for it. And because of what Sitchin had said, they're actually, even though they're saying, look, he's a wacko or whatever they want to call him, they're actually following his guidelines. And I believe, I don't know what this guy said because I get information from all different parts. And what they're saying is Nibiru, it's not in our solar system, but it is. It's on a weird, they call it an elliptic orbit. Like, again, we go around this way. Yeah. Nibiru goes this way. So they say every 2,000 years we should see this, or it's going to come into view. Now here's the rub with this. Here's the rub. Now, because Nibiru is so big, it's got a gravitational pull.
Okay.
And here's where the scientists got really interested. Maybe 10 years back. Maybe 10 to 15 years ago, they got really interested because something was happening in the Saturn's rings. They started to tilt. And what they were saying is, in order for that to happen, there's a gravitational pull. So they have got cameras. NASA has got cameras situated in our solar system, but they're pointing down.
Right.
Because remember, we're on this planet that we're on, regardless, whether it's round or flat, regardless, we're on a rock. Yeah. We're floating and we're not floating, we're orbiting in space. So this is the most scariest thing for like say an asteroid to hit us, because it can come, an asteroid can come underneath us, above us. And here's one, if it comes sun facing, by the time we know it's coming, it's going to be too late.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I tell you what, mate. On that topic, bring this up actually, because this is NASA's official case strengthens for Planet 9, which is otherwise known as Planet X. And here, the race is to find the great planet that several teams of astronauts are convinced orbits far beyond Pluto, but nevertheless still part of our solar system. Provided the existence of what has become known as Planet X or Planet 9 would be a discovery for the textbooks and would inevitably change our understanding on how our solar system was formed. The technology and luck needed to imagine the planet, if it is truly is there, has fallen short. But the discovery of another set of distant solar system objects traveling at a surprising orbit has added the indirect findings that point to a massive planet in the gravitation in a general facility. I am not reading anymore. Fuck it, let's do it. Sorry, I swore. The new finding comes from Scott Shepard and the Institute of Science and Chadwick and North Arizona University, who's provided some of the first intriguing. Thank you, mate. Inking that it's like bloody Dumb and Dumber, isn't it? It's like the you get the idea. So NASA is looking for Planet X, otherwise known as Nibiru, but their official term is Planet 9. So yeah, you are mate. You're spot on the money. They are definitely looking for this planet.
Well, so see, the thing is, that's why I enjoy my job. I enjoy what I do, and there is, yes, I enjoy what I do, and this is why I come across these bit of informations, and I look on upon it, because I actually see, I'm destined to say that their camera that they have is pretty close to the sun, and they're looking down. They're looking down because they're hoping to see that, but. If you can check this out, the gravitational pull on Saturn. I don't know what they're going to say about it, but it's the rings of Saturn have tilted.
Interesting. Is that recent? That recent times?
No, I'm saying I'm about 15 years. Thank you.
2 sugars, please.
Thank you. So yeah,
I like the mild,
so that's the science there. So there is something. There is something there. I mean, NASA has alluded to saying a few things, because I remember them saying about we have an asteroid belt. You know about this, just outside our solar system. I think it's within our solar system, but it's on the outskirts.
And they said protect us, isn't it?
They said there's a planet out there. They said there's a planet out just on the other side of our asteroid belt. There's a planet there. They've said that.
Wow. It's mind blowing. She pop up. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, I mean, in terms of what planets we found, like planets like this, is only a certain selection, which obviously they're, millions of light years, not light years. It's going to be a long time if we're going to get to this certain planet. Nevertheless,
then again,
look at Mars.
But that does tie in to Stargates. Because Stargates were led to believe. My understanding of a Stargate is it takes you to another. It's just a quick travel route to another planet that may not even be in our solar system, in another solar system.
Yeah, that's pretty much the premise of the TV show as well, the Stargate TV show. Honestly, if you just watched, it could be a mini black hole. Yeah, it could be. There's a point of no return on that one. It could be. You never know.
Is that what you're talking about? The tilt on Saturn's rings. It could be, because they are. Didn't they say that there's a black hole not too far from us?
Well, that's us done then.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because I think the understanding of black holes, they're more. How do you say? We're more understanding of it, and it's not necessarily the ending of us. I've seen some interesting stuff, so I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's NASA's never going to tell us the truth. Remember that NASA never stands for never straight answer. I mean, they can't get a flipping rocket to go in through our bloody orbit into space.
Well, that's another thing.
To the moon in 50 years.
Well, that's another thing, because I have been looking at the Van Halen radiation belt, and the thing that I was looking at, and as soon as I was looking at it, because it kind of nearly encircles the Earth, I didn't realize how wide the Van Allen radiation belt was. Can you pull that up?
Well, how far away?
Well, not how far away, but how it encompasses the Earth.
I just spell Van. Hey.
Here you go. Van Halen radiation belt. And then you'll come up with eruption.
Well, let's just go on what we always do. And that, my friend, is nothing more than Wikipedia. Got that, brother?
Yeah, because
here we go. Van Allen radiation belt. So Van Allen radiation belt is a zone of energy charged particles most of which originate from the solar winds that are captured by and held around the planet by planet magnetosphere. Earth is yeah, I know that. Twice, Earth has two such belts. Sometimes other may created temporarily created the third. I must screw that word up there. The belts are named after who cares. So yeah, it says here the Earth's main two belts extend. Yeah, thanks to the guy who came up with this. Surely helped the astronauts that went into the moon, allegedly. Yeah, so what it says here, the Earth's main belt extends from the altitude of 640 to 58,000 kilometers, or 400 to oh my god, for Christ's sake, 36,004 miles. So did that make sense to anybody? What I just said?
Now, see, when you see that, see, I always buy into the prison planet. I've always bought into that theory that this is a prison planet. And then it's quite recently, because I just thought it was just a little bit in space, but I didn't know how much it just surrounds us, as if we're walled in, because that is something that you're not supposed to be able to go through.
Yeah, allegedly. I mean, if you look at the I don't believe he went to the moon. I believe they just went in bloody orbit, mate, and faked the whole thing. I mean, we still cannot get anybody through the Van Halen belt. Didn't they build I think it was like a few years ago, they built a new aircraft that can actually withstand the radiation. And it was like multi-layers of, yeah, pretty much like a Truman Show, isn't it, mate? If it had multi-layers of material to stop this radiation, even they still went through, and the radiation managed to penetrate all through the layers. And you're telling me they went in a bloody tin can in the 60s up into the moon? I mean, one aspect they were saying, especially from the mainstream, is that the Apollo 11 actually went through a gap where there was no radiation. They just got lucky. Well, what about the second time when they came back into the radiation belt? Do you know what I mean? Did they get lucky then? It's like, do you see what I mean? You know, nothing really makes sense. Because, mate, I gotta say it, space is fake and gay. Throwing that one out there for you. Cheers, fake and gay.
Speaking of gay, did you see how much stick I got on X?
Who's that?
I posted the story about Enola Gay, the plane that delivered and all I said was, this is the dumbest thing I heard all day. You know, I put it out there and people were hitting me saying, you can tell Donald Trump's in office, because for the 4 years that he weren't in office, you didn't hear the word fake news. The moment he's back in office, this is fake news. This is fake news. And I'm like, how is it fake news? It's on Associated Press. They're talking about it. They're talking about this. I want to say CNN, but if I say CNN, people will say, well, it's fake right away. But all the news agencies were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
But
mate, don't believe the mainstream media.
Yep. What do you believe then? You believe nothing, or believe what you can see and touch? I'm not in America.
The thing is our mainstream media are completely different, although they're on the same sort of path, very far left ideology. I would say now people are aware of the mainstream media, and it's people like me and you, and Rotary's been talking about this as well. Is that the fact that it's like a bit like the Daily Conspiracy Podcast, where you can find Ollie, Lee, and Dave. They're going to be the new news media outlet. You know, I know more about the bloody world, what's going on now, by not watching the mainstream media, because I'm on these alternative platforms. You know, I'm more clued in than bloody Tom, Dick, and Harry, or any bloody baby boomer who sits and watch the TV screen, watching the flipping mainstream media, getting a daily dose of bullshit. Sorry, I swore, PG-13. I just don't believe it anymore. Their track record, mate. Live and learn, mate. Live and learn. You don't believe anything they say. and that is my opinion. Like News Nation, love the History Channel, just for you, brother, on that one. But in News, like, you know, it's just, who do you trust after what happened during, you know, the medical intervention? Learn from that mistake, man. You can't trust anyone, especially the BBC, so to speak. Don't trust it. And everyone in chat would bloody say the same thing what I'm saying now, you know. So we're going off topic, aren't we? We're going all over the place today, baby. Woo! So should we get back into the Stargate? Because honestly, mate, there's nothing really much to go by. But let's just skip to another false flag thing that happened where two buildings, actually two planes knocked down 7 buildings that day, I think, not 3. It was actually 7 buildings. Actually disintegrated. It's integrated 2 of them out of something that I've talked about a bit. But after that led to the Stone's last message proves it. Yeah.
And the last message was
so yeah, this is what woke me up, mate. I kept on hearing this so many times back when I was a teenager. It scared the crap out of me. I thought World War III was going to happen. I'm not joking. And it's this. Guys, remember this? Weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destructions. Oh, no, weapons of mass destructions. They definitely got it. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. Fear, 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 fear. Now look at it. No one talks about Dr. David Kelly. What happened to him?
Right.
The chief
Poor Dr. Kelly. Poor Dr. Kelly was coming out and going to say, listen, it's all for your money.
Yeah, I mate, that what woke me up. I thought, why did we invade Iraq? I mean, there's many different scenarios one can point at. One of them, it was to do with the terrorist attack. Nothing to do with it. And then George Bush had the audacity saying, oh, Saddam was part of our economy and all that. I was like, no. One would say it was to do with the oil. One would say it was to do with the poppy seeds. But another wild conspiracy behind this is that the fact that Saddam Hussein, because he wanted to turn Iraq into the new Babylon, so to speak, they managed to unearth an unwildly ancient technology known as the Stargate. And that is the true reason why the war in Iraq actually took place. Just a wild conspiracy theory, okay? But there's one aspect I want to go into this, okay, which I find quite interesting. So regardless of what you think, what happened during the Iraq war, what led up and why do they go into Iraq is entirely up to you. Obviously, it's to do with the regime change that happened it was actually mentioned about in North America. No, what was it called? The Project for a New American Century that came out a year before the terrorist attack in New York City. And it talks about basically regime change in different, like Libya, Syria, and one of them was Iraq. So they were talking about doing this, 4 years before they actually went into Iraq. So regardless of what you think, what they went in there for, it's entirely up to you. But
didn't a lot of them, because those countries that you mentioned, they were trying to go in league with Africa just to get rid of the petrodollar.
Something like that as well. That's another part of the wild conspiracy behind this.
The only reason why I can buy into, I wouldn't say it's so wild, because the only reason why I can buy into that is because of Gaddafi. You get me? That's the only reason, because Gaddafi was the one that was hammering this out to deal with the Africans to get rid of the petrodollar. Because Gaddafi's like saying, look, we're the ones with the oil. We should be making the rules.
Interesting.
So I mean, check that out with the petrodollar and Gaddafi, because he wanted to start. I knew it back then. He wanted to start a coalition, and he wanted these people to join forces, create their own currency, because you don't buy oil. When they're buying oil in the barrels, they use a commodity called the petrodollar. It's right. It's not like they could, and that's what Gaddafi and a couple others wanted to get rid of. So
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that sounds more logical, so to speak. Yes,
yeah,
Saddam also wanted to drop using the
yeah, it
petrodollar
was part of
phase
that
2003.
coalition. That's why you notice when that all happened, it was called the Arab Spring, but yet it was
Okay.
funded by certain people. They were, their weaponries and all that. But hey,
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want. It's really, really scary territory to get into because
Sure.
remember, knowledge is power, but too much knowledge will get you killed.
Look at Phil Schneider. Yeah. Welcome in, drumstick, and Hydro. Welcome in, mate. Welcome in. Strong hand. Every time I think of Phil Schneider, I think of Hanson. I'm sorry, and it's strong hand. But yeah, so let's get back into the Stargate. Okay, so let's just go by. Oh my God, sister, my cat is on me, and all the hair. Oh. So let's just go by the whim that the US invasion of Iraq was to do with the Stargate. Okay. So they went into the place of Euro. Remember the ziggurat building? In fact, Saddam Hussein actually put a military base there, which is quite interesting. So I believe they were sort of protecting the land, but something happened. And this is the only thing I'm going to allude to because there's not really a lot of evidence to think about suggesting that a Stargate actually exists. And that was the looting of the museum. Okay. Could you remember this, guys? This was beginning of, I remember this. This was like, let me grab my notes up here because I wrote a lot of stuff down. So this was in April of 2003. We either chose our freedom or all have prayer mats, regime change.
What keeps the West on top? See, the thing is, you think that, but remember this: back in the late '80s, Gaddafi turned around, and he's not as dumb as what people think he is. But Gaddafi turned around and he said that the West will become a Muslim caliphate without firing a shot and without a drop of blood being spread. And he left it at that. Now, you got to remember this, the birth rates. That's what he was on about, the birth rates.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, mate. That makes sense.
So it's your choice. Yeah. We still in the West have a choice, and that's your choice.
Yeah. Let's get to this then. Let's get to the museum. Let me just grab my notes up. Hold on. So get that.
I think I got a message for
you.
you.
Honestly, it's really bad. The hair is all over my screen. Right, darling, I've got to let you go. I love you, but I love you, but you got to go because that is. I'm not joking. It's the molds.
He did. I'll tell you. You know what he did? Oh, sorry. Gaddafi gave every year. He shared the money out to them. He also oh God, where was Gaddafi from? Was he Libya?
Yeah, Libya. Yeah,
Libya. Sorry, man, I had a brain freeze there. But in Libya, all the higher education, like college and university, that was for free. And if you got married, if you was Libyan and you got married, he'd give you enough money for a deposit for your own house.
Yeah, and he made everyone not homeless.
So that's what the world calls a dictator. Yeah. So I know you, Drumstick. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you make a good point, mate. If you look at Libya when Gaddafi was in power and look at it now, Google the picture. Just saying, I'm not sympathize or anything like that, but there is some correlation that look,
And to every leader, there are always going to be people that hate him. You could be the best leader in the world, and somebody will turn around and say, "You know what? I hate this guy. He's too soft." It's
could say the same for Trump, but that's a whole different matter.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody, to every leader, there's going to be critics, no matter how good you are. And I never saw Gaddafi as a bad man. He might have been bad. I never saw that though. But I live in England, so how can I see what's going on in his world?
Yeah. I know, but they were talking about regime change in the Project for the American Century was a document that came out from the Bush administration back in year 2000, and it was talking about taking over Libya. So they were literally planning it. What they're doing, mate. It's look for you got to look for the dots, mate. You got to look for the dots. I noticed, mate. I got to get my bloody teeth bloody whitened. It's terrible. Can't stand it.
I just love how they did it with proxy wars. You know what I mean? But it was, it's weird. It's weird, man. It's just weird.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just skinning up. But yeah, going back to this looting of the museum to the Stargate. Yeah. So basically, in April of 2003, when the first invasion of Iraq started to happen, there was a looting of the National Museum in Baghdad, and a lot of artifacts were stolen. I mean, a lot of artifacts, and some of them were actually destroyed. And there were rumors and actually testimony from people that were actually on the site that the military, US military, was on site at the time of the looting. There are some. I'll just get my notes up here. Where am I to? Hold on, mate. 2 seconds.
And you could look deeper more into ISIS and who was funding them. And there's certain pictures out there of our American leaders meeting with their leaders before all of it was kicking off.
Yes, true. That's very, very true.
So, I mean, I can't remember the name of the guy. I want to say Cheney, but I think I'm wrong.
Dick Cheney?
Yeah, but I think I could be wrong. I think it was somebody else that was me. There's a famous picture of them two. Got their arms around each other.
I think that's Donald Rumsfeld.
Could it be Rumsfeld? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm not big with people's names. I just,
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I'm back on track now. So yeah, this happened. The early invasion, the US invasion, on the 10th of April 2003. The first looters entered the National Museum of Iraq as the American troops advanced into Baghdad. But like I said, there were actually troops near on site due to testimonies from the people that were there. These thieves ransacked the institution, which was founded in 1923. The thieves took everything that they could find in the period of 35 hours, and they destroyed a lot of artifacts in the process. New York Times called the looting of the museum as its invaluable collection of archaeological artifacts, which dated back to the early days of human culture and civilization, one of the greatest cultural disasters in recent Middle Eastern history. Within 2 days, a lot of testimonies of people came forward, indicating that the raid was basically saying that the archaeologists and the military were present at the time of the raid. And this is what the army is not telling you about. Multiple testimonies stated that once they entered the museum of other locations housing artifacts after the raid, they show that many of the gold and silver, especially artifacts with a lot of high profit, wasn't even taken. So the people that were doing these raids appeared to find what they were looking for. They were looking for something specific. And one thing that I kept on hearing was bronze. Oh my God, what are they called? Bronze barrels or something like that. I could not find the article. This is going back through a lot of stuff has been taken off the internet due to this sort of stuff. But in recent years, a lot of artifacts, like Rebecca is saying, has been handed back to the Iraqi people, and 27,000 relics. I don't think there's a lot of it, Rebecca. I think a lot of like the high price stuff is most probably still been hidden because they're not going to tell you what. So why I knew the US Army came in to actually do an investigation to what was actually taken at the time. But nevertheless, it's still very sketchy stuff on what the military were actually doing. This obviously is linked into the Stargate, because going by the premise that they went into Iraq to look for the Stargate, how do they turn it on, and they went to the museum to specifically find stuff. It's all to do with speculation here, guys. It's all to do with speculation. I couldn't really find not even like videos or anything, so to speak, that can really prove this theory. Is unfortunately, it's just one of those things, one of the conspiracy theories that doesn't really have any substance. Hashtag News Nation. But nevertheless, it's just Ross Coulthard's behind you, mate. That's why I said it.
I know. And I've got something buried in Alice Spring for you lot.
Yeah. Mate, I'll try and find the clip. But
Trust
nevertheless,
me.
it was nothing really much to go by, other than the Stargate program that came out. That sort of heightened it's a bit like the X-Files. It sort of promoted conspiracy theories. You know what I mean?
Do you know there is actually a new Stargate program going down as well?
Really?
That's where I got it from. Remember when I talked to you about AI taking over nuclear power plants?
Yeah.
There is something called the Stargate, either the Stargate project or the Stargate program. Have you guys in chat heard about it? It's something that's being administrated by the Trump administration, and I think Elon Musk has a heavy hand in this. Are you looking this up? Because I can see your eyes twinkling, as if you lost the joint and found a 25 bag.
2 seconds. Let's bring this up. Yeah, you are right, mate. There was a Stargate program back in 1977, but I don't think that was it.
Yeah, I think it's something new. I do believe it's something new.
Hold on a minute. 2 seconds. So, announcing the Stargate project, and this is January the 21st, 2025. Was Trump in office at that time? Don't think it was. Stargate project is a new company which tends to invest in 500 billion. Where are you going to get that money from? Taxpayers' money over the next 4 years, building a new AI wait for it. I could get this word right.
Infrastructure.
Dude, don't interrupt. I nearly got that right. Infrastructure of
infrac.
I said it and even screwed the word up. For open AI in the United States, will begin deploying 100 billion immediately. Bloody hell, that's a lot of money.
You know where they're getting the money from? It's from private investors. Because you can one of the biggest things trading on the stock market right now is AI tech. So I'm sorry, I didn't. That's what I wanted to say. It's not coming out of taxpayers' money. It's coming out. It's investors, because AI is one of the biggest things to invest right now in.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? As it's quite high popular in demand. This infrastructure, yes, will secure American leadership in AI, creating hundreds and thousands of American jobs, which is good, and generated massive economy benefits for the entire world, which is good. This project will not only support the reindustrialization, yes, for the United States, but also provides a strategic capability to protect the national security, America and its allies. See, my reading is getting better, mate. See that? I screwed up a few words, but yeah, no, you are right. There is here it is. So funders of Stargate are SoftBank, OpenAI, Arkel, all these people here. So there's a number of, like you said, there's financiers into this new AI stuff, which I can't see in leading to anything good for humanity. It's a useful tool to a certain degree, but where is the flipping stop button? You get me? That's what Taylor said. But yeah, I'm cutting that stuff out.
Drumstick, I got your comment up because I wanted to say, have you ever seen the lollipop made out of aspartame? No. Aspartame. They put a lollipop on the floor, yeah? And you know, like ants, they go for anything that's sweet. Yeah. The ants would just walk around it. They didn't want to have nothing to do with this lollipop.
Yeah. Maybe no, mate. Godstopper. I don't need specs. It's just I'm retarded. And I can't read. Sorry, I said the R word.
It's
Do
okay.
apologize.
We can say that.
But no, literally, mate. It's I'm used to reading in my brain, but not out loud. And obviously, having a live audience here of 26 people doesn't help. But no, practice makes perfect, like my missus says to me.
Yeah.
Just don't worry, Nick. Practice makes perfect. You'll get there. You'll find it. Don't worry. oh, come on, a bit of sense of humor. Right. So where we left off. Right. So, yeah, we got to what did they actually take at this museum? Headless stone statues of Sumerian kings. It was just artifacts, but it was the cylinders specifically that they were mostly targeting. But it is to believe that the Americans were involved in that operation of allegedly looting the National Museum of Iraq. And that's it for Stargate. Any questions?
Yes, any questions?
Mate, honestly, I thought maybe there's something to go by here. And the more 2 weeks, mate, researching into it, and I was like, it's just nothing. Nothing to go by. So yeah. What do you guys think in chat about the Stargate? Is it a possibility that Saddam Hussein did have a weapon of ancient past that can teleport the ancient gods? It's an amazing premise. It's totally woo, but nevertheless, it doesn't really have any validity to it.
I think the possibilities, though. See, this is the whole thing where we have to we're in this world where there are millions of possibilities, and we come across, like, have you ever seen that giant door in the stone? I think it's carved in a cave. It's a giant door, and people are always saying, "What's this door for?"
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
See, I think I can't say, me personally now, I can't say about inter-solar system travel, but I think interplanetary travel with some sort of device is quite possible. And
do you know what? Yeah, sorry, mate. Carry on.
Go on.
Do you know what News Nation just put out? CIA, literally 15 minutes ago, CIA Stargate figure spy psychic was murdered. What are you doing, bruv?
I've done nothing. My hands are right here. That's the ghost. That's the ghost saying, "Listen, don't talk about interplanetary travel."
Yeah.
I gotta be careful now, because we don't know who's listening to the show. But anyways, my humble, this is me. I'm no PhD or nothing like that, but I think interplanetary travel is possible if there are certain conditions have to be right. And for me, it all has to do with magnetic energy and how our Earth is structured. Now, the thing is, we replenish our electromagnetic energy field. But when the planets are in line, like if we're in line with Mercury, or, for example, let's say Mercury, for example, if we're in line with that planet, there's a connection with the electromagnetic. I think that is the way you're going to do it.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm not just spewing out things. There are facts of what I'm saying. If you guys want to take the time out to look at and say, "Man, let's see if I can prove him wrong," have a look. Have a look. But that's how I think it's possible. I don't know whether you're going to have some sort of ship to do this, or a Stargate. I think a Stargate is the perfect opportunity, because don't they express that? Don't they feel that there's Stargates on other planets? Like, don't they think there's one on Mars?
I don't know. I would have thought, but going back to Mars and believing that there are actual human civilization going back thousands of years. I mean, in the 1960s, that was to believe that we came from Mars and there was an advanced civilization there, and they just came to Earth because their atmosphere was not surviving. Again, speculation. I mean, there might have been a portal, and how they may have got here. You never know, mate. You never know.
The Emerald Tablet speaks of this. You see, so
does it? Oh, right.
But science also will back that. Science is theorizing that what has happened is something hit Mars. Now, that's what they say. The Emerald Tablets tell us that there was a battle, but we're going before the Mars civilization started. Now, what they're saying about how life on Earth possibly started was that some bacteria or whatever from Mars, an asteroid hit Mars, and it sent debris into space. Now, some of this debris managed to hit Earth. And that's how life started. That's one theory. I mean, like I like with the Emerald Tablets now. Thoth talks of a different story, but he also talks because Thoth now is a Martian for all intents and purposes, because he tells you that's where I came from. I came from Mars. You know, he didn't put it like that, but that's what he says.
Mate, we are too perfect. Our DNA. We don't know the full potential, but yeah, in terms of our full potential, we are, as a body structure, we are quite unique in a certain way. I don't think where floating particles came from Mars and suddenly boom became.
We're not that perfect. You think about the brain capacity, how much of our brain we actually use to what nobody knows what we're doing. Look at our is it our chromosomes that so much is locked. remember the Anunnakis, when if we were engineered just strong enough to work, but not strong enough to overpower. We're engineered to be smart enough to obey, but not smart enough to outthink our bosses.
Yeah, but if you go back 5,000 years ago when they're building the pyramids, or wherever you think to build the pyramids, the mathematical brain for that to build a pyramid must have been a genius to do. So we are quite unique. Whether or not you think the pyramids. Again, you sound like the History Channel. You're saying there's aliens.
No, I'm not saying they're aliens, but I'm not saying that. I follow science, and I'm looking at it through science eyes, and I'm thinking the Egyptians never built them pyramids. They came across them. They came across them, but they didn't build it, right? Yeah. So whoever built that, now could that be because if you look at the pharaohs and everything, early depictions of pharaohs they were a lot bigger than us. The heads were longer. Again, the elongated heads. That's why they said they wore them crowns to cover up their heads.
Yeah.
And then what did they say? Pharaohs are actually gods. They're not rulers. They were gods. That's what a pharaoh is. It's a god. Look up the meaning of the word pharaoh. So it's to me, and see, one of my favorite scientists, or if you want to call him a scientist, Nikola Tesla, even disputed the ages of the pyramids. You know, he said they're a lot older. That's what he said. They're a lot older.
Hundreds of thousands of years, apparently.
They're a lot older. They're a lot older than what we're being told. But also from an archaeological point of view, they call the Egyptian civilization. If you look this up as an archaeological part of view, they call them a step civilization, which what that means is they took a step, something happened, and they just climbed again. And then something happened and they climbed again. Whereas everybody has a gradual slope of progression. These guys, they leaped. Their advancements, they leaped and they leaped and they leaped. And that's one thing that archaeologists, they can't understand. But
is a bit like we were talking about the ancient city of Ura, which was basically Iraq, what it is now. Their civilization just boom, it was there. There was no steady progress or no archaeological process of what these
Sorry.
If you're going by this ancient structure and the city looked like, it was just like bang, it was there. There was no progress to what you're saying, that step theory. There was nothing really like that.
See the emerald tablets. I mean, I wish I was much better, because I'm not the person to be talking about them. I can only regurgitate what I know. But I think if you guys have not checked out the emerald tablets, check it out, because it is very interesting. And a lot of things that Thope said in the emerald tablets are now being backed up by science. Because one of the very most interesting thing that he said was that he helped to change the course of the Nile with the Egyptians, because Thope is actually in their folk, or what would you say, mythology? Thope is actually a character in their mythology. He's also in Greek mythology as well.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Yeah, Thope is just, he's a kick-ass character. he talks about them changing the course of the Nile. Now, for many times, that's why people would say, you know, what this is crap. With the invention of satellite imagery, you know, like they got satellites now that can look under the ground. They did this with the Nile, and they saw that the Nile's course had been changed.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
And Thope said this how many thousands of years ago? That's why it's interesting. He talks about Mars. He talks about a battle between Mars and Venus. Talks about that. That's why he fled Mars. And when he came to Earth, the civilization that he met was the Atlanteans. Then he talks about them knowing that their civilization was gonna be ended. So he talks about the libraries, the books, because they were great librarians. They got a lot of books. And he said that they were split up. Now, I forgot where he said one went, but I know he said the other one, the books are at the foot of the Sphinx. He said there was a chamber right at the foot of the Sphinx. And they discovered that about 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, all this LiDAR stuff is pretty interesting, because with like the Amazon jungle, when they've been doing scans over the surface, you can actually see that there are like ancient buildings there, obviously with the trees and everything that's grown over it. And it's difficult to see.
This guy, they do, you know, when you want to talk about history, just remember, history is written by the victors. So you can say they don't build history on guesswork. Who said anything about guesswork?
You didn't mention about guesswork, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where he's coming at, but anyways, yeah. But that
right.
again,
okay. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But in regards of these portals, it's a potential, mate. Give it another 1,000 years, 2,000 years. I think we're probably halfway there. But nevertheless, as the whole conspiracy behind it, it's just not really going by, really. So yeah. Mate, bring up this video. Let's have a little listen to Ross Coulthard and what I have to say. I mean, this whole hypothetical alter history is fun to think about. Sure, but just don't take it seriously. Just don't,
it is fun to think about, but there's certain things.
Yeah.
There's certain things. All right, there's certain things that are kind of bizarre. Like, okay, if they let's say the Egyptians built the pyramids. One of the things that they always said is there's no soot mark on the walls. So how could they do this? Now we do know that they had the Baghdad batteries. So they did
apparently it was debunked. Apparently it was debunked, but I don't think so. If you look at, you can actually get power out of that if you actually did the whole structure. But they showed like these massive light bulbs.
Yeah,
it's crazy, like huge. Yeah. So it makes sense. There'll be no scorch marks.
There's things that you can discount, and there's things that you can't discount. And you know, I mean, I think the smartest guy in the world is Nikola Tesla. And if he's trying to tell you, look, these pyramids are a lot older than what you think they are, I kind of would listen to him.
Yeah.
Remember, The FBI investigated if he came from Venus, but that's another story. Anyways, let's pull up what our friend Ross Carthard has to say this time.
Right, this is all new. This is all new. So yeah, this is called a CIA Stargate figure says psychic was murdered. No idea what he's talking about, but I'm going to be honest with you. Ross Coulthard, he's got a face I kind of want to slap.
No, I like him. I expect to see him on Neighbours.
Mate, he's got a face, like, no disrespect. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I like to have a pop of shrimp on a barbie, one would say, but he's got a face that he just wants sympathy. If you look at him when he's smiling, it's like he's got a sympathy sort of face, like, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Hello and welcome to Reality Check. Before we start, I want to tell you a little bit about our sponsor for this week.
No one cares,
it's
dude.
The iconic. He says he still feels. Make sure you watch it by going to Chuck.
Is this the best
survival game? Shut up. Hold on.
Is it the best survival game by any chance? Has anybody played it?
Hello and welcome back to Reality Check. I'm your host, Ross Coulthard, and today I'm very excited to bring one of my favourite subjects, Russell Targ and remote viewing, to the show. Russell's probably one of the most knowledgeable and experienced researchers.
Pause it a second. Yeah. You remember that movie, The Seed of Chucky? I wish I could just put up a picture and show you guys. Don't he look like Chucky's kid?
It does look like Chucky's kid. Oh, mate, that is spot on. That is. Do you know what? I was looking at him. I'm going, he kind of reminds me of someone.
That's as soon as I saw him, I thought, Seed of Chucky, man. That's Chucky's kid, man.
Oh my god.
Sorry, man. Sorry. All right, let's get on with the show.
Right.
Sorry.
Into one of the most controversial areas of parapsychology, remote viewing. His life story is so well told in his book and the recent movie, Third Eye Spies. Russell's a physicist, parapsychologist and author who was part of the team at Stanford Research Institute over half a century ago when he and Hal Puthoff experimented with the idea of remote viewing, using the human mind to gain impressions of a distant or unseen target. Mr. Targ also worked with Dr. Hal Puthoff on the so-called Stargate project, established in 1977 by the Defense Intelligence Agency with a California-based contractor, SRI International. The Stargate project went by various code names, very sinister sounding names: Gondola Wish, Grill Flame, Center Lane, Project CF, Sunstreak, and Scanate. And then from 1991, it was called the Stargate Project. Officially, of course, mainstream science asserts that remote viewing is pseudoscience, that the ability to psychically see events, sights, or information from a great distance is nonsense. And officially, the Stargate project was shut down in 1995 after a report by the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, concluded that it was never useful in any intelligence operation. That information was provided by the program was vague and included irrelevant and erroneous data. That was the CIA's conclusion, and that there were suspicions of interjudge reliability. 21 years ago, most of you will probably know about this film. The John Ronson book, The Men Who Stare at Goats, was made into a major film starring George Clooney. And that pretty much put a stake through the heart of credibility for the idea of remote viewing and psychical phenomena. But as anyone who's watched this show in recent months would know, we've started talking about the word psionic. And what better time to bring in Russell Targ? Russell, welcome. Welcome.
I'm happy to be with you. Happy to be with you, but psionic is a new term for me.
I was about to ask you, have you ever heard that word before in your time?
Only in your interviews.
So
you got to be gay and left-handed, mate.
When I looked at the history of the Stargate project to realize that this investigation into psionic research or psychical research is not new, and that essentially, until very recently, when your extensive documentation on the work that you did at SRI and the CIA. Until very recently, it was all suppressed and censored, and we were being told by the CIA it was all stuff and nonsense. Can I first get, sir, your position? Do you believe, and I know you do, but what's your take on ESP, remote viewing, the whole claim of psychical phenomena?
I think the data. I'm a physicist, like.
Okay, let's just listen to what I have to say. It's content there, guys. It's News Nation, so it's Rose Cold Heart, man. Better shrink on the Barbie.
And it's not the mainstream media,
I believe in the data.
It is, yeah.
We did remote viewing at SRI for 20 years, which in my job principally was to teach people how to get in touch with their psychic ability. So I would sit in my little office, and the person of the day would come, usually a government scientist like the Undersecretary of Defense. He wanted to support the work going on, but he wanted to see something psychic. So he said, "Can you show me how remote viewing works? Can you have Ingo Swan describe where my major is hiding?" And I said, "If Ingo does it, you're going to think it's a trick. Instead, I'll show you how to do it. And then when you leave here, you'll have the drawing you made of where your major is hiding together with the photograph." He said, "I don't even believe in this stuff." And I said, "Well, many people have said that to me, but it's not a matter of belief. If you just quiet your mind and tell me about the surprising images that come into your awareness, we will find that you're able to make quite a nice drawing of where your major's hiding. You don't have to worry about a thing."
Look at Rolls Cartar's face. Look, in that face, it's like a sympathy face.
Do
you want to listen to it? Do you want to listen to it? Yeah.
Do you mind? Because I love the idea of remote viewing.
Yeah, no worries.
Since only you know what images is in your mind, you can't do it wrong. So that's my non-program teaching from my favorite person, Carl Rogers, famous American. Carl Rogers taught us to be kind to our patients. And he was an expert at non-directional psychology. Mainly listen to your patients and be kind to them. So people would come in my office and with the purpose of learning how to do remote viewing. And I would just set them up with the instruction, tell me about the surprising images that come into your awareness where your major is hiding. Don't worry.
Literally, it'd just be like, honestly, if it was me.
You can imagine him sitting there, Coulthard, in his boxers.
Yeah.
Don't name it. Don't try and guess. Just tell me what you're experiencing. And that was my story for a decade. As people want to know, well, how do you teach people to do remote viewing? And the answer is, I give them permission.
Great.
And that's really the story. I've had
an LSD.
A favorite visit of a Israeli physicist who was brought to me to see what the trick is. How are we fooling people?
Not you.
So this,
hear that?
His name is Yakin Aralov, very
people, yeah.
famous physicist, got a Nobel Prize one of these days. And he was sitting with me, and I said, "Well, they want you to describe where they're hiding someplace in the Bay Area." He said, "I don't even believe in this stuff. When I close my eyes, it's dark. How about you?" And I said, "Well, you just tell me about your experiences." And he said, "I don't have any experiences." So I said, "Okay, just rest up. They'll be back in 20 minutes. And then I said, "Okay, they're going to be here in 10 minutes. I know you don't see anything. Pretend I'm a psychiatrist. And I just want you to free associate. And if you have to put something on a piece of paper to end the session, could you make a drawing of whatever comes into your mind? What do you feel compelled to draw?
Penis.
He said, well, I see a bunch of ducks from my mother's farm in Israel where she raises ducks. I said, well, that's great, Yaki. Can you draw me a duck? And he said, of course I can draw you a duck. And he drew me a couple of ducks in a row. And then our lab director came back with hell put off. He said, well, what have you got, Yakin? He said, all I've just got this bunch of ducks that I drew.
Even Kufard looks like
And
he's going to fall
was
asleep.
amazed. He said, you know where we were hiding? He said, of course I don't know where you're hiding. He said, well,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ufology. Just a bunch of hearsay, entertainment. Trust me, bro. My God, do you want me to continue? Are you happy with this?
How long is this?
This is it's over an hour, mate. It's well over an hour.
Man.
Let's come.
What are you guys in the chat? Do you guys want to? Do you want to continue with this reality check, or is it a right snooze fest? I think it's a snooze fest, mate. I mean, I love the idea of remote viewing. I mean, it's just no. That's what I was about to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was about to say that, mate. He's an old boy. But
yeah, but look. I understand he's 90, but sorry, my nan makes more sense than this guy. It's just rambling. It's like, well, back in my day, it's like, yeah, no one cares, Grandma. Like, let's get to the point. He's asked you a simple question, and yeah. No offense. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm sure his books is very interesting. But for me,
Drumstick said he'd rather watch later. So yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I was gonna see. I put your comment up, Rebecca. How you doing, sister? I put your comment up, because is that Uri Geller saying he was part of it? Because Uri Geller says he's a part of a lot of things. So and plus I wouldn't know to believe that man no more. So you know what I mean? I'll tell you how I know my man's a bit of a Billy Bull, and you can fill in the rest. It's because doing what I do, I get to see a lot of footage. And he posted a footage that I saw a couple of years back, and said it was a leaked footage given to him by his Israeli military friend. And that footage has been circulating. Well, I seen it. So right then and there, I knew the guy's full of it, man. He's full of it. Didn't he try and pass off some one of the alien autopsies as being genuine footage from the Israeli army?
No, there was another one where he took a picture from the X-Files set where there was a bunch of aliens, and he regurgitated saying it's like a
yeah.
I'm sorry,
I remember that.
Oh, hilarious.
So really, can you trust anything that Mr. Geller says? I mean, every time there's a World Cup, he takes credit for if England scores. you remember?
Yeah, he needs to stay relevant, mate. He's got to dip his toe in now and then, just sort of. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here, even though I post fake pictures on Facebook.
So, but now let's go back to, because you're finished, yeah.
Yes, mate. I don't really have any videos, honestly, guys. I was really excited when I went into this, but as I really went deep into research, and I do this, guys, I use all the tools that I have. I couldn't really find anything, even when it comes to videos. And I've got to be really funny with videos because they get like the copyright. I don't know if you get the situation with you hidden. It's always been a bit fishy, but I literally couldn't find anything that was. All I found, guys, was a bunch of fake people that don't know much about stuff making videos, where there's all fake attitude. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm not going to waste your time, guys. I'd rather do my research, put things into perspective. But honestly, mate, yeah, guys, nothing really much I can find on it. So Stargate, throwing it out there, possibility, but more likely just theory. But nevertheless, interesting. But in terms of what happened, why they went into Iraq in 2003, it's a whole lot of speculation and finger pointing at what scenarios are going. Oh no, it's actually this. It's for that. It's for that. So,
as like my favorite TV personality says, Judge Judy. It's a lot of who shot John.
Judge Judy, is that still going on?
Oh hell yeah, Judge Judy ain't never gonna stop. Even she's going to be like that guy in America. There was this guy in America. What's his name? Any Americans in the chat? He used to do Billy May. Is it Billy Mays?
Oh, Billy Mays. Yeah, yeah.
And nobody knew he died. Nobody knew he died because they've been playing his commercials. And it's like years later, they're like, he's dead.
Yeah, I knew he died. It was a number of years ago. It was back in like 2010, I think. It was a number of years ago. Yeah. Billy Mays used to do the cleaning product, didn't he?
Because South Park did a famous cartoon about him, The Ghost of Billy Mays.
Is it? Yeah. Oh my God, he died on June the 28th, 2009.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Wow. Yeah.
But anyways, then, so moving along,
I
came across an interesting story that happened, I believe it was last week, Friday.
Yeah.
Over Washington, D.C., where a UFO was sighted by a few pilots, and they were calling ATC and ATC. This object was being picked up, but visually they could not see this object. Now, what I thought about this is pretty cool because this is Captain. He's an airline pilot. Mm-hmm. His name is Captain Steve. That's all he's given. Yeah, and he's done his he's looked at the video. It's all just chatter. It's airline chatter from air traffic control and the pilots, but he's deciphering what's being said. And I thought this might be it's an interesting story because at the end he gives his opinions of what possibly these could be, and he also tells you why they couldn't be this as well. So it's kind of interesting, and it is a pretty weird one. It's one I missed, but I'm glad this guy's done it because it's something I want is a professional's point of view because I'm not an airline pilot. So, you know what I mean? I can't. So let me get this up for you guys.
Let's have a look. Yeah, with UFO sightings at the moment, there's nothing really much to go on. There's still the drone incursions that's happening in New Jersey still. However, there's been a lot of increase in these balls of light, which I was having a conversation with my neighbor, who's pretty much on the same wavelength as I am. And we were talking about he was taken back by the fact that aliens are basically these entities, these balls of light potentially. So the change in of ufology is where the nuts and bolts craft of extraterrestrials has now moved on to spiritual entities. It's quite fascinating, really.
But you know what it is now, Nick. People that has been with my channel for years gonna know from the word go. I have talked about these orbs being biological, interdimensional, and it's only say within the last 3 years mainstream media is starting to pick up. I know last year they were getting heavy into it. They were talking about it, but it's something that it's not just me, because I know there's other people out there that have been talking about these objects as being not crafts, but possible beings.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good that they caught on, but it's kind of weird that it's a new phenomenon, but that something that we have been speaking about. I think it's just every angle they're trying to come at to try and, like what you said, not relevant, but probably grift.
Yeah. So sorry, mate. I mean, I got to be honest with you. He doesn't really take the UFO community seriously. In fact, he kind of stays away from it. So he's not clued into what we're talking about. And it's like you said, it's only the past couple of years where the news is actually talking about these balls of light potentially being interdimensional beings, as wacky as it sounds. However, they are talking about it. Whether or not it's a psyop, that's up to you. But the fact that they are talking about it and it's put into the discussion into the public eye is quite.
Oh yeah.
It's a massive shift, and he was taken back by that. He was like, "Oh, really? Well, I've had experiences a bit like that. That kind of makes sense now, So in one way, it sort of helps because he's had experiences from we witnessed a ball of light, and he can make of it, you know. So yeah, all depends, mate. All depends.
Okay, right. So I'm gonna
Sorry for
play
rambling.
this. This is from a guy called Captain Steve, as you can see. This happened over Washington D.C, I believe. So here, let's play the video.
Strange happenings afoot this weekend at our nation's capital, the primary airport, Washington Reagan National. Multiple collision traffic avoidance calls for multiple aircraft. Let's take a look. I'll analyze.
Brickyard 4469, TCAS, sorry, we're recovering.
Brickyard 4469, would you like to go around?
Negative, we got it.
Okay, that's the first
JetBlue
one.
1155, turn right taxiway Foxtrot, ground point 7, have a good day.
Foxtrot, ground point 7,
Brickyard 4687, wind 220 at 11, runway 19er, clear for takeoff.
19 for takeoff, Brickyard 4687.
Brickyard 4469, do you remember how high that was?
We're about 1,200 feet. There was somebody diving straight onto us, Brickyard 4469.
Okay, so let me explain what's going on here. You're going to hear multiple aircrafts report either a TA or an RA. That's the TCAS, the Traffic Collision Avoidance System that all commercial airliners have. It uses an internal system called ADSB, and ADSB transmits everywhere, but it transmits primarily to other aircraft, and it transmits back your speed, your altitude, your direction of flight. And then it compares those things through the TCAS system to give you traffic advisories, TAs, or resolution advisories. That's an upgrade from a TA. A TA is simply when the computer says there's traffic out there, it's getting a little close, and the computer voice says, traffic, and it'll pop up on your screen. You take a look out and see where that traffic is. If you don't see anything, you're good, but it's a heads up, literally. An RA is when it gives you what to do next, a climb or a descent. And it'll say, climb now. And then a little green band will show up on your screen, and you fly the airplane up into that little green band. Some of these airplanes got TAs, some of them got TAs and RAs, multiple airliners along that final approach route on a southerly flow into DCA airport. I'll give you my speculation in a minute on what I think was causing it.
Brickyard 4538, preceding arrival, reported a TA, 2 more miles at 1,200 feet. It's been happening all morning. Let me know if you see anything. No one else has seen anything except for on the TCAS.
Okay, so nobody's seen anything. The tower doesn't see anything. If it was an ADSB aircraft that was transmitting, they would have it on their screen as well. So they're not seeing any traffic out there. And the other thing that they can see is what's called a primary target. A primary target is an airplane that, for instance, doesn't have ADSB, a little Piper Cub or a Cessna or a little home-built airplane or something. It's a possibility. They would see it. It would return, just the radar return would come back without the ADSB information. They would see that. They don't see anything. And by the way, all these aircraft that are heads up now and looking, they don't see anything either, but they all get a similar warning. This gets a little strange. Watch.
We'll check it out. We'll let you know.
Brickyard 4538, runway 19er, clear to land, traffic will hold.
Clear left, we got 4538.
Okay, I want you to listen to this guy's voice for a minute. He's going to talk in a minute, and I'm going to make a comment.
Brickyard 4528, runway 19er, line up and wait.
Okay, this is a normal flow out of an airport, taking
Alaska 5, you'll be next. Good morning.
You'll be next, Alaska. Okay. Normal operations.
Brickyard 4469, turn right taxiway Foxtrot, ground point 7. Have a good one.
Right on Fox, ground point 7, Brickyard 4469.
There's somebody off the runway.
You have to dive to the river.
Here it comes again.
Roger, ground point 7, and if you could, repeat it to her so that the soup can write it down.
Okay. Yeah, we got a little something there, Brickyard 4538. It appeared that the target that was 600 feet above us.
Okay, I got to stop for a second. Does this guy sound like he had to put his bongos down before he could key up the mic and talk? Yeah, all right, sorry.
Brickyard 452819, clear for takeoff.
4528, clear for takeoff, 19.
And Brickyard 4538, you said how high above you?
It said on the TCAS it was 600 feet above us, and we didn't see anything.
Okay, I bet they didn't see anything. All right, anyway, yeah. So multiple airplanes now are going to say the same thing. 600 feet above us, 200 feet above us. It was descending quickly. Could this have been an alien? I don't know. There's going to be a couple of choice comments here in a minute. Listen up.
600 feet above, did not see anything visually. Thank you.
Okay. Didn't see anything.
Well, I was thinking,
Street 5197, Washington Tower, runway 19 clear to land.
19 clear to land, Blue Street 5197.
Blue Street 5197, multiple arrivals are reporting TAs. Not seeing anything out of the windows, though, but on the TCAS, about 2 more miles, and I don't have the exact altitude.
So they don't see anything. They on the screen, airplanes aren't reporting anything. She's got to report it. They're doing a great job in the tower, letting everybody know that there's some sort of either an erroneous warning or heads up there may be somebody out there.
We'll keep an eye out. Yeah, we got a TCAS, but we don't see anything either. Blue Street 5197.
Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, a little bit before Derek. No altitude on a Blue Street 5197.
Okay, Derek is an intersection, and there's several points. There's one called Grays, another one called Derek, along the path into the runway, and they all got the same kind of warning-ish somewhere along that final approach route, but it wasn't at the same exact spot, which really makes this a strange mystery. Like, what was causing this?
Roger, thank you. And you are cleared to land runway 19, Blue Street 5197.
Runway 19, Blue Street 5197.
Ground break air 4469 vacating on Foxtrot for Charlie 27. We got an RA for you to copy whenever you want.
Break air 4469, Roger. Juliet 327.
Juliet 27, break air 4469.
Okay, he says we have an RA for you to copy. Now, here's how it goes. If you get a TA or an RA while you're in flight, that overrides any instruction that you've been given by any sort of controller. So that's telling you there's an aircraft out there and you need to follow these instructions. So if I got a TA warning, it would say traffic, I would look, right? If I saw the airplane, I would try to avoid it. If I get an RA, which says climb or descend, it's mandatory. I must follow those instructions. I'm going to turn off my autopilot, turn off my auto throttles, and I'm going to hand fly the airplane to that altitude up or down. And then at the same time, my co-pilot is going to get on the radio and say, we are deviating for an RA. That's all they have to say. That explains to the controller that has you exactly what's going on. And so they don't violate you for not following their commands. When it's all done and the resolution has been resolved, you're clear of the traffic, then you descend or climb back to the altitude that you were originally at. And of course, you report that to the tower or the controller and say, we had to deviate for an RA. That's exactly what these guys are doing. They want to report the details of it.
Brickyard 4469, go ahead with the information that you have. This has been a common occurrence all morning.
He says.
Hey, from Brickyard 4469, just about over Fonview, 1,200 feet, we got a descending RA. We got out of it about 1,100,000 feet.
And did you actually visibly see anything other than what the TCAS was showing?
Negative. It was just a unknown target descending rapidly.
All right, that's the same sort of reports we've been getting. It just seemed like it had stopped. Sounds like it's starting again. All right, so there was approximately 1,200 feet. You went down to about 1,000. And what was the fix you were over when you said it? I didn't catch it.
We were just over top of the Fonview intersection on the RNAV Zulu 19.
Fonview for the RNAV Zulu. Thank you.
Alien.
Roger. Okay. Now, pilots have a sense of humor. These guys shouldn't say this, but somebody keys up the mic and says aliens. Another guy says Russia, All right. Sometimes you got to let off a little bit of steam and have fun. Not that I've ever done that. Captain Steve plays it right by the book all the time.
We had an RA over Grays.
Okay. Another one over
Brickyard 5802, Roger. We're going to get more information once you land.
Okay. Wow. Lots of these.
Blue Street 5146, Riverviz 19.
Blue Street 5146, Washington Tower, welcome aboard. Runway 19er, clear to land, reduce to final now.
Watch what the tower does.
19, clear to land, reduce to final. Blue Street 5146.
You're going to tell everybody. You're going to give a report of what's going on to everybody.
Blue Street 5146, reporting traffic around our 11 o'clock. We got anything out here?
Okay, they got a TA. That's why they're reporting traffic, right? They don't see anything, but they're asking the tower, do you see anything? So he's saying we got a TA. 11 o'clock, we don't see anything. Verified.
Negative. Blue Street 5146, no known traffic between you and the facility. Still clear to land 19.
Okay.
Clear to land 19.
Really
Blue Street
strange.
5146.
Brickyard 5802, turn right Foxtrot, right Juliet, and stay with me. What did you experience on final?
I've never seen anything like
Roger, let's stay with you. You're at Gray, maybe 1,200 feet, 1,100. We got an RA for descent. The 200 above, we saw it out there though.
Two airplanes talking over top of each other.
American 523 Washington. 523, go ahead. American 523, runway 19, clear to land, chest holds in the park. Clear to land, runway 19, American 523. American 523, not sure if you've heard, but multiple rivals reporting TCAS RAs or TAs on final. No known targets between you and the field. American 523.
Yeah, good, clear, crisp communication from the tower. Excellent job.
Street 5146, hustle down to Alpha, Juliet, cross runway 22, ground point 7. Alpha, Juliet, clear cross runway.
And we're kind of talking over the frequency.
Then Blue 6197, when able, just give me the information about the PKSRA.
Yeah, so we got two. First one was before Slacker. It wasn't an RA. First one was before Slacker. Second one was maybe near to, was near to Aaron. Blue 6197. It was not an RA.
Okay, two TAs.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. She said.
Washington Tower, Blue Street 5198, kind of river visual 19. Blue Street 5098, Washington Tower, reduce the final approach speed. Traffic will hold in the park. Use caution. TAs and RAs reported on file. No known traffic between you and the field. Runway 19, clear to land.
This is so unusual.
Thanks for the heads up. We'll slow the approach speed now.
Yeah, just bizarre, this whole thing.
Washington Tower, envoy 3630, river visual 19. Envoy 3630, Washington Tower, runway 19, clear to land. Chest will hold in the park fire. Clear to land 19, envoy 3630. Envoy 3630, there's no known traffic between you and the field. We've had multiple arrivals today. Report TAs and RAs for unknown targets. Use caution. Better that, thanks. Envoy 3630.
Right, you're giving a heads up to everybody. You know.
Tower Southwest 704, RQ 19. South 704, Washington Tower. Use caution. Multiple reports today on final of TAs and RAs for unknown targets. There's no known traffic between you and the field. Traffic's going to hold in the park fire arrival, runway 19 for the land. All right, copy all clear. Just land, runway 19, Southwest 704.
This is so
out of the
two TAs on arrival, they said.
And so you said you got two TAs, Blue 6298?
Yes, ma'am. We got two TAs. One about short final for the runway, and then the other one was probably about 3 miles back.
Thank you.
And here we are at the end of all of this. So what happened going into DCA this weekend? There was one of four possible explanations. One is some small aircraft was flying around and causing all of these disturbances, all of these TA and RA warnings. Very unlikely that it was, because the tower would have seen it on their radar screen. Even if it didn't have the ADS-B system that transmits, they still would have gotten a primary return, because there's a hunk of metal flying around out there in the air. That's number one. So it's probably not that. Number two, it could have been a flock of birds, right? You could get a primary return from a flock of birds. They're not transmitting ADS-B, but the ADS-B system would see it. It might cause an erroneous indication to numerous aircraft. The problem with that is it happens at different places along the approach on the way in, and it's just not likely that a flock of birds would cause that sort of issue. So I don't think that was it. The third possibility is that it was some sort of ground signal that was being sent up, and it was somehow either scrambling or interfering with the ADS-B signals from multiple aircraft. And at different places along the route, different airplanes were having a different reaction, all thinking that somebody was descending upon them. And a couple of them got a descending breakout, only a couple hundred feet, and then it was resolved. Nobody ever saw anything. It's a long shot, but it could have been that. And the other, it could have been a drone. Now, I'm not talking about like a military drone. I'm talking about like a civilian drone. Somebody's just flying their little drone around. Again, a drone doesn't have ADS-B. It doesn't, but it's not a very big, if a drone's this big, it's hard to pick up on the radar. It's really difficult to see. You can look out, and if it's not directly in front of you, just a few feet, you're probably not going to see a drone. That would explain why nobody saw anything. But again, the descending breakouts and all that, it probably wouldn't happen with a drone either. This is a huge mystery, my friends. Could it have been aliens? Could it have been the Russians? I don't know. Anything's a possibility. Captain Steve gave you 4 possibilities. there may be even more. Time to cue the Twilight Zone music. Now you know. I'm Captain Steve. I say.
I was checking out. That's interesting, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I never even heard about this. So, and to get his perspective and explain what I thought that was pretty cool. But there was that, well, something, the planes were picking up something because it was telling them to avoid.
Yeah.
But then again, he did point out, could there be somebody transmitting something from the ground trying to cause these things to crash?
Probably a bit too far-fetched if they were actually seeing the object. This is it.
But none of them were.
Hmm.
None of them had any visuals on it.
But the radar system picked it up.
They're what did he call it? TCAS?
Yeah, GPS, I think it was called, something like that. To be honest with you, I mean, sometimes the radar don't really pick up these objects, so to speak. Normally, it's the pilots that are picking it up from visual contact.
But the
pilots
pilots weren't even saying. It's kind of a weird one. Like what he said, it's weird.
Yeah,
because you had multiple planes reporting this. I mean, even the pilots were joking, saying it's aliens or Russians. Hey, Saggy Paul.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those unsolved mysteries, isn't it? I mean, as Rotary was putting a comment up saying the fact there's, plane crashes, tankers that are crashed into each other, having these toxic plumes of gas that's potentially coming towards UK, which is a nice bit of thing mongering there for you. Saggy Paul, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, these sites, unless they had some really good radar footage, would have helped.
But they had nothing on radar.
The pilots couldn't see anything, so it's kind of hard to say, bro.
They couldn't see anything. Radar weren't picking up anything because there was one bit of the chatter saying, "Are you picking this up?" And they said, "No, we're picking up nothing."
Yeah, so, I think it's safe to say, don't take a plane. Sorry, man, I'm new in Marrakesh, but I won't. I am not attempting to take any planes for the next 5 years until something gets figured out, because it's going. Yeah, I reckon. Talking about the vibration, our consciousness. Delta Dog, how's it going, mate? Talking about the vibration, right? Maybe HARP, possibly the 5-6G has something to do with it, because it is Tesla technology when you look in terms of frequency. And everyone in England's on edge at the moment, I think, politically and just to state of the bloody country. But I think vibrationally, I think something's changing, something's shifting.
Well, it's been done from time. It's been done from time.
I guess so.
It's been done. It's everything. It's again. Yeah, it's just been done from time. But that's to me. That's a really. I liked him. I like Captain Steve. Gotta say, because it's nice to have a pilot sit there and look at these things and explain, like, this is what this means, this is what, and he seems to have knowledge of the area. So he's kind of like saying, well, and to have and what's scary is that they were flying at 12,000 feet, and the thing told them to drop down 1,000 feet. So they were flying only 200 feet. So if somebody, it's just a bizarre time, and
it is. It's a very unpredictable time.
But that came out from Washington, I believe, Washington D.C.
Okay. Oh, nice.
I don't know where is. I should look that up. Ronald Reagan Airport, because that's what he said. Did he say Ronald Reagan International?
I think he did. Yeah, Ronald Reagan. Yeah, because there's an airport, isn't there, named after him? So. Yeah, interesting stuff, mate. I didn't see that on Twitter or X, one would say. Yeah, it's a good find. Yeah, really good find. But who knows what's going on in the skies at the moment? I mean, the drones, I know they're still going on in New Jersey, whether or not that's happening there. I haven't even seen any drone footage in the UK or anything like that. I think it's more or less in the States at the moment. But there seems to be a very common occurrence with plane crashes at the moment, and bloody oil tankers. They're not oil tankers. You know, there was a cargo ship that collided. It seems to be these incidences. I'm not saying it's a psyop, but it seems to be very a common occurrence. Are people just dumb and stupid and don't know how to operate these vehicles? I mean, these are bloody massive. I mean, look at the tankers that collided, and even the ship that hit the bridge. You know, is obviously clearly done on purpose. Whether or not it's to distract people from lot. A1 True Saxon, how's it going? Yeah, same here, mate. Same here, yeah. Yeah, 420 hard. But yeah, who knows what's going on? It's very unpredictable times. And I did say last year that things are just going to get even stranger. It's crazy, isn't it? So a lot has gone on since the beginning of the year. Since Trump got into power. It's scary times, unpredictable times, but it's very exciting times, isn't it? Or is it? I just talk about my ass. Yeah, just need more good news, isn't it, at the moment? I'd say CEO at Boeing was under investigation due to negligence. Whistleblower, late CEO, lost his job. A few are dead. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, remember the Boeing whistleblower that came forward? He died, and someone else as well as that seems to be knocking him off, mate.
That's why when you have these credibilities of the UFO whistleblowers, look in the old days, they're still alive, man. They're doing TV shows. So you know what? It's sometimes the best way to control the narrative is to be the narrative. And that's how I see these going. That's why I don't pay attention to these names. I just do what I do. That's why when I say, and I don't know who these people are. Some of them I do know, and I have a laugh and a giggle. But you know, that's how I take them. I take them till like somebody said in the comment, there's no evidence, and that's all it is. You have to take them with a pinch of salt. They can talk all the foolishness, and sometimes it's funny and it's frustrating, because it's funny in a way to watch how people will react to like what Kufard famously said. But it's frustrating when you're trying to find footage and all you can see them doing is talking about what Kufard had said.
Exactly.
They're debating it when really the simple logic is show me the proof. That to me is the logic on this.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. If I go back to my old UFO magazines, they do talk about subjects, but they at least have some sort of what's the documentation, at least gone out there into the field and actually at least try and, you know, at least there's something to back it up by. And I think that's what I find quite interesting about ufology, especially the previous history ufology. Typical example, if you look at the Laura Zamora case that happened in 1963, where the policeman saw the egg-shaped craft that landed, and he was a police officer, and he saw this egg-shaped craft with these two childlike beings, and then suddenly they spotted him, and they went to the craft, and it shot off. But the thing is hidden. He actually went out and to the site, and they found imprints of where the craft had landed. And they took a radiation test. I'm like, right, okay, you actually gone out into the field, you've done an investigation, and Laura Zamora has never been the same after that. Well, unfortunately, she's passed on now, but for me, that's a very credible case, because they've gone out, they at least have done something. Same with crop circles, you know what I mean?
Back in the days, there was a lot more investigation going on then. I mean, I don't want to speak ill of other people out there. Sorry, other organizations that may be out there doing investigation, but the really one that you got doing it is MUFON. They do try to send boots on the ground, but in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, MUFON is a bit lazy, to be honest.
They're irrelevant now.
Well, because anybody can be a field researcher. Anybody can. All you just do is ask him, "Can I be a field researcher?" and pay him some money, and you are.
Yeah, and you get a T-shirt and a badge saying UFO nerd, you know, and mate, it's just I understand people, they want to take UFOs seriously, and it's very common occurrence is that it's just Twitter. People that post several times a day because they want to be relevant, not naming who you are, but you know who you are, and it's just they want to be relevant. You know who you are. It's the same. It's just like they want to get their foot in. They want to do something important for the community, whether or not it's actually attention seeking, so to speak, or it's just, oh, it's my turn to put my opinions forward. And in one way, I want sort of attention. I've noticed that, mate. There's so many. I'm not saying that people are like that, but you do get that avenue of people that just want the attention. They want to stay relevant, so to speak.
Well, there's no discernment. This is how come I haven't been posting, because I mean, I'll tell you right now, today when I was looking around, I saw 5 videos of what were balloons. They were balloons, clearly balloons.
Tell me about it. I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and all that. And my mum sends me stuff, and I have to admit, yeah, some of the stuff it sends me is could easily be debugged. It's good to show, but I'm just not. It doesn't look like good enough. But like you said, they're just like balls of light.
Well, even if I saw,
the planets, so to speak. That's what I'm trying to say. You know,
I do have an interesting clip. I do have one, but I'm going to turn that into a video. I mean, I don't know. Should I show you guys it? Because you guys are here now. I'll tell you what. I'll show you the raw footage. I haven't done my magic to it, but this one I found very interesting. So while I'm trying to queue it up, I'll get okay. I'm starting to learn how to do this because I am going to do a video on this because I found this interesting. Let me see. There it is. Now, what I'm going to show you was captured in Fuerteventura. Am I saying that right? It's in Spain. Did I pronounce that right? Fuerteventura.
No idea.
Yeah. The chat will have me on that.
Okay.
The chat will say, what's the chat saying? I'm out now. I'm trying to pull this video up. Let me see if I can make the screen larger. Yeah, there.
That's what she said.
Let me do this. All right, I'm going to crank up the sound on this. Now, they were driving along when they noticed this ball of light. Now, when I'm looking for ball of light videos, I want them to be doing something, not just sitting in the sky. They got to be doing something. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
And this thing to me was moving. So good enough, Tenerife. I might be saying it wrong because it's clearly saying it's Spain, but like it does say. Let me get the spelling. Let's see if I got it right. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Oh,
Tenerife.
Because they said Spain.
Is Spain in Tenerife? I don't know.
No.
Tenerife in Spain.
Tenerife's an island on its own. I've been to Tenerife. Let's see if I might be misreading the word. That's what I'm trying. Let's see. Here we go. This is the location. That is Fuerteventura. Am I right? Anyways, let's get to the video. All right, where am I? Share.
I'm gonna attempt that. Retard. Seriously. My sister captured this random UFO today at 4.
Here we go.
Stoned me.
I do have permission for this, so I'm going to do this. This is going to be my next video, so we'll show you the raw footage. You see the ball of light coming out of the cloud?
Oh yeah.
Now watch. Keep your eye on this thing. You This thing's moving, man.
Is she riding on the horse?
Oh, they're in a car.
Oh, in the car. Hell yeah, man.
Now, see, here's where I thought this could be a bird.
Nah, there's no reflection source on that.
Hola, lo estoy grabando, joder. Estamos filmando para el video. ¿Qué estamos haciendo un ovni? Si quieres un objeto volante. Ay. A ver, lo grabé.
And that's it.
That's interesting.
I only wish they would have stopped the car.
Yeah, I know, right?
but who knows? They might have been on a busy road. We just don't know. But
the only thing that would reflect like that would be, for instance, an aircraft flying at a certain destination or altitude, whatever, and the sun is reflecting off it, and it can appear like a big, shiny, bright star, and it just shimmer and reflects, because that sort of goes in and out. It brightens up and goes back down and bright. So it's pretty good, man. But yeah, next time, stop the car. Don't care if it's traffic. Pull to the side, as long as it's safe. It'd be good if you got a steady shot of that, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty good.
So I hope you guys, when I post the video, please rewatch it. And I have to go with Spain because that's where they're saying it is.
Okay.
I have to go by the witness because I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if Tenerife but they said it's Spain.
Right.
I mean, I might write to him. I could always write to him and just say, look, I need to clear this up. Is this in Spain or is this in Tenerife?
So is that the location? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Canary Islands, one of the Canary Islands. Purity blah blah is one of the Canary Islands in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
It's
Polynesian.
Oh man. No, hold on. It says there it's part of Spain, bruv. Oh man, I'm 420 too hard. I can't even read.
No worries.
Read it.
On the way to Morocco. Marco.
That's nice. That's where my mum's at the moment.
So just make sure that when I do the videos, guys, please watch it.
No, we always watch, mate. We always.
But that's going to be the next video. Is going to be that one. So you guys had a sneak peek. I haven't done anything to it where, because my magic is I'll zoom in and try and tidy up the footage. So, but if I don't post it now, I will have to tell you why. Because sometimes I can, when I get the footage into the editing suite, I can see a lot clearer of what it could be. Sometimes I can tidy it up. I've done that once before, and I got it with a bird, and I had to tell him I can see the flapping. So
normally it's the case.
I hate to give bad news to people, but sometimes I think it's better to comfort you with the savage truth than stroke you with a lie.
Mate, to be honest with you, I would rather have honesty than being one of these fake bitches. Oh, I swore again, sorry. We've done pretty good this episode, but these fake YouTubers that just want to stay relevant, who just had a YouTube channel for about a year, gets tons of views for some odd reason, even though the comments and the likes don't match up. That's fake. You're genuine, mate. You know, when we hear BS, we're going to call it out as BS, you know. And I think people, especially in chat, would appreciate honesty than rather these fake bitches.
Well, I've always said, the money, it's your time. It's your time that I value, and I'm grateful for your time to just even come here, but just to take the time out of your day to watch my videos. I'm so grateful. That means more to me than any monetary value. Yeah. And like I said, if I could keep on finding videos to put out that are good quality, I will make the money from the ad revenues. You know what I mean? A little donation don't hurt every now and again. And again, thank you, John, if you're out there. Thank you for your donation. But yeah, you know,
yeah. This is it, mate. You know, I think people now see bullshit. I saw again. Sorry, mate. They see fakes, and mate, there's a lot of them at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's always what is bad is now there's channels out there. Because again, what I do. There's channels out there that are solely AI. They're solely AI.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell they're obviously the voice generated, but so you're not going to get the genuine stuff. As good as the Cali weed, that stuff. Oh, mate, the Cali Kush is the new Cali weed drumstick. Is like everywhere. That is like part of the Stardog family, or part of it. That is what's popular at the moment. Is the Cali Kush or the Cali weed. It's banging stuff. That is like, I used to heard that Chronic, or could you remember Skunk? Could everybody remember who smoked weed? Skunk. You don't even hear about it anymore. But I think Stardog or Cali weed, so to speak, is the new Skunk because the strain is more stronger. Mate, that knocks me out. I haven't even smoked that. That's on special occasions when I fall asleep. But yeah, the strain is a lot stronger now. Definitely a lot stronger. I look wrecked. I'm Chinese eyes, man. I think I'm belly with my eyes.
Saying that, I might join you guys on the next show because
man, it'd be good. I mean,
I've done 2 shows straight.
two shows straight. It's been odd not having you. Because the thing is, I don't smoke on Alien Addict. I don't smoke on that. So is this the only time I smoke? So it's nice, and it's nice to have someone to actually talk to as well. It's weird, but going on your own. It's not the same. You know, you need someone to interact with and all that, which definitely does help. So yeah, and someone that smokes as well, which would be good. Oh, by the way, dude, Cheech and Chong, they're bringing out a final movie. Have you heard about this?
I think I have. You know,
it's called Cheech and Chong Last Ride. I think it's going to be in cinemas, but I think it might come out on Netflix and Amazon, and that's like their. Oh, mate.
Oh, I can't see my Funko.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of Cheech.
Yeah. Oh, you got Cheech.
Sorry, of Chong and Cheech.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Have they got a spliff hanging out of their mouths?
No, just holding them in their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Up in Smoke was that just reminds me of being a teenager. But the van that was made out of like nugs of weed.
Nice.
And
dreams.
It was like it was traveling down like the road and people were just getting high off of smoke. It was like the police officer or something like that. Oh mate. Oh, that's good. Yeah, good times, man. Good times.
Well, on that note then, yeah. I mean we've gone over 2 hours.
We definitely talk about some German UFOs, one true Saxon. 100%.
Indeed. So on that note,
that's it. I think that's it. I think that's everything, isn't it? I've got nothing. I've got nothing. So
and that's it. I'm kind of done. So I mean, look out for that video. I'll be working on it tomorrow. So
awesome.
And I'm going to try and get the location right so we know where that is. And cool. that'll be up tomorrow. So that's my work for tomorrow there sorted.
Nice. Awesome. I just need to plug my show on Alien Addict on Friday. I'm debating whether or not to do crop circles or the deglocker, the bell. I might do the bell project, which is a bit more technical, even though the crop circles I'm going to do is quite a lot of technical. So I might do deglocker. So catch me on Alien Addict on Friday when I'll be discussing that. And yeah, thanks to everyone in chat. It's been amazing as always. Everyone's super awesome. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you again.
Okay. And guys, like I always say, if I'm not busy, check me out over on Facebook, X, or Twitter, and also Discord. Come on, guys, come over to Discord. We need you to join in our memes. We're having fun over there. And, it's only me and Eat a Rat Daily and Joe Charles that sometimes pops up. So big thank you to Eat a Rat Daily for keeping the memes running, because not every time I can post memes in there, but he's doing a stand-up job of making me laugh. So that's it, man. That's it. And...
Oh yeah, sorry. Rotary. I did see the video on Easy Math Solutions on crop circles. I might. Okay, so everyone's going to turn up on Friday on Alien Addict. I will do the Bell Project. I'll do that, and I'll do the crop circles the next one. So yeah, sorry for interrupting you again for many times.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. So nice. I just like to say, in these scary times, we have to be righteous with each other. So that's the only way we're going to ever go forward. And you got to remember, they haven't got enough bullets for all of us. So
true. Yeah.
On that note, man, all I can say is stay blessed and keep safe. And we're going to end it with Saggy Paw. Thank you so much for doing this tune, man. Much love to you.
Good night, everyone. See you soon.
Good night.
I might do both of them. All right, I'll try both of them then. I'll do a double whammy. So yeah, Hidden, take it away, brother.
For there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and nothing concealed that will not be known and illuminated. Stay blessed and keep safe. This is the hidden underbelly. Stay blessed and keep safe.